Two sides desperate for a win meet at the MCG as the next generation is on show. The Tigers haven't tasted success against round 9 against the West Coast Eagles, but they do get to see their pick 12 from last year, Taj Houghton, make his debut at the G tonight. They have been on a 7-game losing streak and showcase their 9th debutant tonight. While for the Bombers in 13th spot with 6 wins and 9 losses, it's 12 debutants as Oscar Smart becomes the latest to don the sash in season 2025. There are no late changes with Zach Johnson and Trezise the subs tonight. Matt Clinch with you for ABC Sport. The crowd has continued to roll into the MCG, so hoping to see a victory tonight. Lauren Borton to call the action alongside me. Welcome to you, Loz.
Thanks, Clinchy. It doesn't feel like that long ago when these two sides last met at Dreamtime at the G. It was back in round 11, though, and that was Essendon's last win too. So wins have been few and far between for both of these sides. But you mentioned a couple of the debuts in Taj Houghton and then Oscar Smart as well for the Bombers. And I think that's what it's about for these two sides coming into the end of the year, is the excitement from those young players. And with 10 teenagers across both of these sides, there's plenty of upside, even though it's probably looking more towards next year and beyond.
Yeah, combined injury list of 27 players between these two sides, and the last time the Bombers tasted success was that Dreamtime at the G game in round 11 by 23 points. Two-time All-Australian, best and fairest of Port Adelaide, Chad Wingard is with you for a Saturday night. Welcome to you, Chad.
Yes, guys, great to be here. I'm excited to see Richmond. I'm hoping to see a bit more youth going into their midfield. So Taj Houghton, I'm hoping they don't just play him forward. I hope they chuck him in, because you've got players like Prestia, you've got Taranto and Hopper. A lot of the guys that are 28 and older, so I'm hoping to see some youthness into Richmond's midfield.
And the coaching icon, the game's record holder for the most games coached in VFL, AFL history, but is a Tigers premiership player, of course. Mick Malthouse, welcome to you.
Thanks, Matt, Lauren, Chad, and all our wonderful listeners, in particular 2 of them, Denver and Kai, who are going to watch on TV but turn it down and listen to us, because they're a little bit disappointed. They actually picked Adelaide, but they barracked for the Dogs.
Oh, right.
Now that means they're smart.
It's a win-win.
No, it is a big win. And it was a big win by Adelaide. But I've come to watch a lot of the young kids tonight, and I'm a late call up for this game, and I was delighted because it's two sides I really want to watch. Caddy is one of the most impressive young players I've seen for a long time. He is a serious player. So without the experience of Bolter back there, I suspect that he could run right, but I just want to see him again because he's got all the tricks. But he's a motivated, great player, a very good player.
Yeah, take us into the sides and what you're most looking forward to tonight. The Bombers very much rebuilding their forward line despite Peter Wright still being there, but you touched on Nate Caddy, Isaac Kako, who was the Rising Star nominee during the week, and Archer May is one who's come in and made the most of his opportunities up forward as well. So maybe Chad, the Bombers with just a little bit more experience, but you never quite know what that means in a game like tonight.
No, you never know, especially when you've got young players and both teams have got plenty of them. And we've seen Richmond as well. That momentum is massive for both these teams tonight. When can they get on a roll? And we know Richmond get a lot of the numbers back in their D50 and try and slingshot out of and use that transition. But for me, for Essendon, I think the one I'm looking for is Kako. I'm a pretty biased here. I love the small forwards and I love what he's about. Obviously, getting the Rising Star nomination last week. He looks very powerful and he's starting to find his feet a little bit. Didn't hit the scoreboard as much as he would want to, but he's one of those players that can make something out of nothing, and you've got to make sure you keep an eye on him the whole time. And like I said, for Richmond, I just want to see the young players be in positions where they can improve. I don't love Richmond playing a lot of their senior players in the midfield. You've got Prestia who's lining up there. You've got Preston, Hopper and Taranto. And if they were dominating the midfield, I'd say, yeah, keep them in there. But statistically, they're one of the worst midfield units in the competition.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, well, let's just give some other guys a crack. I know they've had injuries. You want Lawler in there, and I really think they should try and play one of those guys, whether it's on the wing or on a half forward, just to give other guys a bit of a look. Because in their future, they're not going to be a part of their premiership midfield. We need to start looking about who it's going to be.
It's just little cameos. It's not saying, listen, I've got to run with merit. I've got to run with this player. I've got to run with that player. It's just going in there, knowing the tricks, learning the tricks, but rubbing shoulders with some of the good players, understanding your ruckman. They've got a very good ruckman, and as you said, it's not being done at the moment. So really, you've got to experiment. I don't say you should take those senior players out, but they've got to be out enough to give others an opportunity. And at the end of the day, when you see the games that have been won over the last few days, have had long listed midfields. Not relying on Bonapelli and Richards, It's the 4th, 5th and 6th that go through there that just get you at the right time. It's like GWS was a classical, Gold Coast was a classical case of having 3 of the best. One got injured. They couldn't go on 4, 5 and 6. And when they tried to, they ran out of legs. And there's an illustration. For Gold Coast to get better, they need 4, 5 and 6 because they went up against Collingwood. And when Collingwood knew that they were starting to tongue it a bit, foot goes on the accelerator. So you're right, you're spot on.
The Bombers have a bit of class returning with Mason Redmond to join Jordan Ridley in recent weeks. Elijah Sardis gets an opportunity tonight, and we touched on Oscar Smart, who is the 2025 mid-season recruit from the Bendigo Pioneers via the New South Wales-Victoria border, featuring in the VFL for the Bombers. So in a little over a month, he's gone from playing VFL footy to now playing on the MCG, Chad, and they're the dreams we like to see. Of course, Angus Clark was the story from Dreamtime at the G, kicking 3 goals, and he and his dad Stuart talking about their footy journey from regional South Australia, the farming area, to kicking 3 goals on the MCG. So a chance for the Bombers tonight to just take a step forward in terms of their progression.
Yeah, and I was at that game. That was unbelievable, kicking 3 goals. And from a guy that was actually a winger that was playing a little bit forward, and it was super impressive. I was like, this guy's going to be a star. Imagine kicking 3 goals in your debut. And from Mount Gambier, he was an impressive player. But like I said, it's about growth for both these sides. Who's the diamonds in the rough? Who's the players that you really trust? And you got the next few weeks, several weeks, to find some players and hopefully stay injury-free. I know Richmond and Essendon have had a lot of injuries, but it has opened the door for a lot of players to get some games under their belt, because next year, like you said, these guys are going to want to improve dramatically.
Zach Merritt had a season-high 40 disposals last week, Mick. I wonder whether Adam Uze is thinking, I can't just let him run around and do whatever he pleases tonight.
Well, it's interesting, Matt, I know you don't like talking about the articles, but I just wrote an article in regard to coming up the finals. Who's the most important player? Who's your secondary? And then one out of the box. And if sides aren't aware of how good the best players are and you want to run with them, well, it's a flip of the dice or flip of the coin. You have to have in your armoury a tagging player that can go on and take one of the players' strengths away from him. And you've got to grow that player. You've got to find him and grow him so that he becomes some part of your midfield that you go, well, we know that we just can't go with Merritt, or we can't go with, let's say it's Holmes, whatever. We'll pop this player on him and see if we can just restrict him. And we've seen that with the good sides are prepared to do it. GWS are prepared to do it.
Yeah.
And it's helped them. We've seen... who else?
Sydney, James Jordan.
Sydney do it. Yep, and you've got to come up with someone. If you haven't got one, at least try one. That's another one about trying it.
Yep.
And Nick Voston celebrates his 250th game tonight. The final member of our team sitting in the front row tonight is Lex Pesher. Welcome to you, Lex.
Hello, guys. What a night to be at the MCG. I thought it'd be colder, but it's actually beautiful weather down here. Now, Zach Merritt, the Essendon captain, has won the toss and he's elected to go to the City end. This one's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully that's not the Bombers' first win for this evening.
Thank you, Lex. There's the countdown on the big screen, and we're all in readiness for this round 18 clash. The Bombers looking for their 7th win of the season. The Tigers a chance to try and claim their 3rd. And it's a chance to showcase the next generation of talent. There's Taj Houghton making his debut, pick 12 in 2024 for the Tigers. And a 12th debutant tonight for the Bombers. Essendon and Richmond from the MCG. Here's Lauren Borden to get us underway.
Saturday night footy on ABC Sport, and it's Goldstein and Nankervis, who have met plenty of times before, go head-to-head in the middle of the MCG. Nankervis grabs it, and then he's taken by Setterfield and pulled to the ground. The umpire lets play go on for a moment before blowing his whistle and coming in to throw the ball up just outside of the 2 centre circles. Again, the 2 rucks go at it, and it's tapped down towards Prestia. He's taken in and tackled by Martin, dispossessed of the footy. It spills out the back through the legs of Setterfield, and Prestia can gather. Hand pass to Hopper, who just puts the kick away hurriedly, and it'll be an intercept mark taken by Roberts of the Bombers. Left half back for Essendon. He flares it out wide along the southern wing to his captain in Merritt, who marks and then pushes the kick to Martin. As they work their way down the outer wing, a hand pass from Clark finds Martin directly inside 50 into the forward pocket towards Caddy. It's very close to the boundary line though, and it's punched away for a stoppage inside forward 50 for Essendon, kicking towards the City side of the MCG in this first term. No score yet, nearly a minute played.
Crowd is pretty well populated at both ends, the Putton Road and the City end, as it's thrown in from the city end. Nankervis right angle. It gets to the very back of the pack. Dion Prestia kicks out to vacant space. The foot race is on. Redmond will get there first for the Bombers. He looks up inside 50. The kick is just wide of the debutant Smart. As he tried to reel it in, and hang on, the umpires paid the mark.
That's a shocker.
That looked over, didn't it,
can't wait, please.
Well, not only that,
Here we go.
he's hit it with one hand onto the other hand, and it was out.
Boundary umpire was backpedaling right in front of him, and Oscar Smart, can he join that famous club of first kick, first goal?
Jeez, he's going to take his best, though. 45 out on the boundary, as we just discussed.
Good build.
From the border of Victoria, New South Wales, he fires on goal, started up against the fence and misses to the right-hand side and fails to score. No score through the opening 2 minutes here at the MCG, the Tigers and the Bombers, as they're brought back into play through Jaden Short.
Moves the footy down along the broadcast wing of the ground, where he kicks it towards Mansell, who marks and then flares it out wide. Traynor grabs the footy, a long hand pass inboards, inside towards Taranto, who hand passes it to Mansell, who puts the kick inside 50 for Richmond, first one for tonight. But again, it's picked off by Roberts there, standing in the goal square for the Bombers. He hacks a kick outside of defensive 50, gets some distance on it, but Broad's the one that collects. He's tackled and has to get rid of the footy, where Merritt picks it up, hand passes it back to Blackiston. He just shoves it on his boot. And it's Blossom in his milestone game that comes in to intercept the footy, kick it across to Sonzi, who might go all the way from 55. It's off wide. And the first score for tonight is just behind Richmond's way. They lead by that sole score. 2.5 minutes played in this first term. It's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Well, they're running the ball well, the Tigers. Really, it's just their disposal into their forward line has just been iffy. 3 times they could have found a target, but just blazed away a bit.
Mick Moldhouse with you on ABC Sport. McGrath brings the Bombers back in to Laverty and to Redmond up towards the wing. A free kick for a hold. And Todd Goldstein will take the free kick. 37 years of age, playing in his 339th game. What an incredible athlete he's been. Called upon by Brad Scott. Kicks inside 50. Caddy flew from the back. Couldn't take the mark. Durham revs it perfectly. Fires on goal and curls it back. It was aiming towards the left goalpost, and the kick off the outside of the boot, curled through the middle beautifully. And the Bombers have the opening goal here at the MCG through Sam Durham. They're 1 straight 6 to the Tigers, 1 behind. 3 minutes gone, Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport with Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard.
And that's a beautiful finish. You think about it, they're one of the hardest goals, Mick. When you're running at full pace, you're trying to outrun someone. It's actually really hard to kick that straight. So he did open up the angle to kind of, I suppose, use the reverse banana. But that's a perfect crumb. I think if you're a small forward or a forward in general, as a defender, you need to make sure you get fists to that and outside. You can't put it inside that, I suppose, spot where all the small forwards are just licking their lips right in front. And we call that the magic spot, where you can get there 8 out of 10 times that it goes there, you're normally a chance to get it. So that's a beautiful finish. I mean, 15 metres out, running at full pace, banana on outside of foot, if you don't mind.
Backline player's got to sit on his shoulder and push him under the ball.
Yeah, exactly right.
Got to get him under the ball.
Essendon with the first goal of the evening, now leading by 5 points. Back in the middle, it's tapped down. Setterfield going in after it. The umpire's blown his whistle. Free kick to Zach Merritt. Takes the footy, plays on quickly. Hand pass to Goldstein, who gives it back to Zach Merritt. Can take a bounce. Isn't sure where to go. And in the end, will go directly inside 50 over the top of a pack. Caddy might be able to run onto this one. He's in a battle with Broad. Broad gets there first and does well to push the ball over the boundary line. It'll be a throw in a few metres around from the left behind post. Essendon kicking to the city end in this first term.
And if the Tigers come out quick, they've got nothing to kick to. Essendon have got a really good setup outside the back 50. I don't know why you need 15 players or thereabouts inside your back 50.
Peter Wright taps it down through the fingertips of Smart, who tried to gather it. McIntosh takes it, hand pass to Vloston, and he's happy to run it over. And we'll have a boundary throw in again in that forward pocket for the Bombers. Vloston in his 250th game, the 3-time premiership player out of Altham, notching up that milestone tonight.
That's better. Got 13 outside now. Yeah. They're more balanced now. Essendon have only got the 1+1.
Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clich and Lauren Borden, Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard with you. Lex Pescia on the boundary. Nankervis out of the ruck. Kicks up towards Kajitsky. Can't take the mark. Tangling with Goldstein, but Morris Rioli Jr.'s onto it. A burst of pace. 2 bounces. He runs the worn wing and then kicks up towards half forward. It won't get to Mansell. And the intercepting mark is taken by Blackiston of the Bombers. At left half back, his kick is going to be chopped off. Rioli floats in front as well. Takes the intercepting mark in front of Ridley. So 2 good involvements for Morris as he comes into the middle of the ground. A centering ball that finds Hopper at the edge of the centre square.
Well, that's his work rate that's got to be maintained Rioli. When he does that, he's got such great speed.
With the kick at half forward, puts it down to a pack. Fall tried to rise. He couldn't take it. Blackiston punched it down. Traynor went in after it, and he's pulled to ground by Dersma.
He just accepted that tackle. And you see Richmond already, not many players are leading from that mark. So even Kaczynski, he's their key forward. It looks like they've got a real idea they're just going to kick it to the hot spot.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Goldstein taps it down in front of Richmond's goal. The ball comes back to Clark, who hand passes it to Martin. Still deep inside, defensive 50 for Essendon. Hand pass to Redmond, who goes back to Martin, who hand passes it to Durham. Runs the footy outside defensive 50, then kicks towards a running right, who couldn't get to the footy. And it'll bobble its way over the boundary line, right in front of the interchange gates for a throw-in.
Well, it's disappointing by Richmond.
Yeah.
That ball was in there long enough to get the ball back and score. But right then, it was far too easy to come out of the back 50.
You might have heard a round of applause down below us. That's for Taj Houghton, who comes in for his first game as a Tiger. Nankervis taps it down to the front. Goldstein follows up. Dumped in a tackle by Nankervis, and the footy stuck underneath a few, including Tim Taranto. And the umpire will ball it up. Broadcast wing here at the MCG. The Bombers with the opening goal through Sam Durham. They're 1-6 to the Tigers, one behind. Nankervis and Goldstein tangle once more. Goldstein wins down the tap. Ross put his head down low, tackled by Lual. The umpire will ball it up.
He just came off the interchange turn and just ran straight to Goldstein. Welcome to the game.
Nankervis and Goldstein tussle, palm down again to Merritt, who gets another disposal in this first quarter, kicks it out to Hobbs over the top of his head, and McIntosh can gather for the Tigers, who hand passes it away to Banks, hand pass to Tom Brown, long kick right inside 50, he gets it to a good spot, but it was Ridley that was back there for the Bombers and took an uncontested mark, hand pass to McGrath, who chipped it across to Merritt, who puts it towards Lual, who fell down as the kick was coming towards him, but it was picked up anyway by May, who hand passed it to Sardis. Took a couple of bounces, shared the footy with Hobbs, who went back to Sardis, and then goes inside 50. And again, it's an intercept mark in defence this time for the Tigers, and this time off the hands of McIntosh. Bombers leading by 5.
I was going to say, I wonder if it's the uniforms that look alike. For those that haven't looked on TV, it's the worst Essendon uniform in history. It is.
That's a big call.
Oh, well, I can't think of any worse one.
Tyler Young out of defence looking for Rioli. It was spoiled by Roberts. Drives it inside 50. Wright goes to work with the ball at ground level. Banks desperately gets a hand pass out. He was able to find Broader. Gets a hand pass to Traynor. Under pressure. Kicks to Prestia. He dropped the mark, but it's spilled into the path of Hopper. And they're away at half-back. Hand pass to Nankervis. Chips it up to Mansell. He takes the mark in front of Zap Merritt. Turns on his right-hand side. Has a loose player on his own. It's Jacob Kaczynski, who marks slightly right of centre. 40 metres out as the Tigers rode their luck and transition from half-back inside 50.
And we talk about what's the most important things out of these two teams. This is a very important game for Kaczynski. It's his first game of the year for Richmond. And, you know, like you think about Tom Lynch, 34 years old. Who's the next one to step up? Kaczynski's been in and out of the team last year. Really big game for him to step up, and he gets his chance early on with a set shot from 40 out.
Should have played on, you reckon, from there?
First game, he's probably a little bit nervous.
Played in the 14 games last year, but hasn't featured this year. Jacob Kaczynski comes in for the first for the Tigers. It's across the face to the left-hand side. And a minor score, averaging 12 and a half disposals in the VFL, but more used across half-back than a forward. The Bombers by 4 points, 10 minutes gone. Opening term, Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
He's only a young man. He's not. I'm surprised he didn't play on. He had 30 yards without a player near him.
So Zach Merritt's in a bit of a tangle as he got the kick from Jordan Ridley, spun around the circle and ended up kicking it further down the members' wing where it got to a pack and it's fallen down into a contest for anyone's ball as Hobbs and Sardis do the tackling on Banks. The umpire will come in and toss the ball up right on centre wing. So Essendon in the inverse colours of what they normally wear. It's the black stripe with the red majority colouring, but I think it's the white shorts that Mick, you're not quite sure of.
Oh, the jump itself.
Sardis is tackled to the ground, held onto, and will be holding the footy. Free kick going the way of the Tigers, and it's going to Taj Houghton in his first game, pick number 12 last year. Gets onto the field, gets the free kick, kicks it towards full inside the forward 50 for Richmond. Couldn't take the mark, brought to ground. Traynor doing the tackling now in the forward 50 for Richmond. And the ball won't be going anywhere. It'll be a ball up 40 metres out from Richmond's goal. The Bombers holding a 4-point lead, 10 minutes played in the opening term.
Thrown up. Nankervis just trying to clear a space. A free kick for a hold, and it'll go Big Nank's way. The Richmond captain out to the left. Take his best from just inside 50.
That was well done. He knew he had him, Goldstein, covered.
He gives it off to Banks on the run from 52. It's a good option as he sends it sailing straight through the middle. Got the hand pass away, and Sam Banks did the rest. His 4th goal of the season, and the Tigers take the lead once more. 1-2-8 to the Bombers, 1 straight 6. 11 and a half minutes gone. Opening terms, Saturday night footy on ABC Sport with Mick Malthouse and Chad Wingard.
Well, he's just getting back to the free kick. It was both experienced ruckman, but he knew he had Goldstein under the ball, so to come in front of it, talk about Nankervis here, come in front, he had to be grabbed because it was going to be, he would be going to take the football and do what he wanted with it, so he got caught and the hand pass off, knew it was beyond his distance, hand pass it off, and beautiful finish.
And he's another guy for Richmond that I really excited to look. Banks, but also having short back. I think their ball movement in between the arcs has been really good. It's just that last kick. So both teams are actually doing a lot right. It's just the money kick at both, which is inside 50, and that goal hasn't been great so far.
Yeah. Well, Kaczynski was found.
Yeah.
And he was found 30 metres clear. So Tigers haven't done a lot wrong.
Back in the middle, Durham comes barging in, couldn't quite hold onto the footy cleanly, pulled to ground. It's Richmond that'll emerge with the footy from the stoppage there as Taranto grabs it, hand passes it across to Prestia. Little dinky kick forward, and Hotton's there on the end of it to mark. Came up, spiralling around, held on to a chest mark, and will have a kick at goal from directly in front, 25 metres out.
Smart mark, courageous mark, didn't know about the kick. The kick was a little bit... put him under pressure, so the Essendon boys had a good look at that before they tried to spoil it.
Yeah, I think he's lucky that was McGrath. That was underneath him and not a key defender, but it takes courage to run back with a flight like that.
Right.
This would be an amazing first goal if he can connect here.
Taj Hotton in game number 1 in the AFL, set sail and scores goal number 1. There's something to get the Richmond fans off their feet earlier in this game. And Taj Hotton is with his first goal in the big time, and he pushes Richmond out to an 8-point lead in this first term. 2-2-14 the Tigers. Essendon 1 straight 6, 13 minutes played in the first term.
And now, like we just said, that was a courageous mark, but I know I gave the Richmond eldest statement a bit of a whack early on, but they're actually winning the clearance battle 6-3. So and like we said, Mick, they haven't done a lot wrong. Just maybe a couple of little wasteful kicks inside forward 50, but the last 2, I suppose, inside 50s, last 3, if I'm being honest, looked very controlled and very potent. So, great start. Now they've got the second rucks in. Let's see how it changes up for their midfield.
Yeah, it's interesting, the second rucks.
Isn't it? You can always tell.
It's like they both check out at the same time. I don't get that.
Big 12, 2024. Taj Hotton has his first goal. Adamuse went to his house to surprise him and the family to make his debut this weekend. Dersma in the middle of the ground, gets a clearance to the Bombers. Hand pass away to Hobbs. Gets it to Satterfield. Kick misses the intended target in Dersma and sliding in down low. Brown takes the intercepting mark for the Tigers. Left half back. Around the boundary line to Trainer, who gathers on the half volley. Could have almost been taken high by Hobbs, but gets a hand pass forward to Short, who runs the boundary line. Drives Richmond up inside 50. Four works his way to the front and juggles the mark. Richmond's confidence building as the footy was knocked out of his hand. He wanted a 50. He is right on 50. Out to the left. And Jonty Fall pushes right back behind his mark.
Oh, front. You got to be when you're walking backwards with the football. You've got to be ever alert that there could be a lead on the way, and just change that one step and go forward. He's missed a target 30 metres in front of him.
He's kicked 5 goals, 13. So this is the part he'd be keen to try and finish. He's out to the left, 50 out from home. He's set sail. It's out to the right, and it won't come back. So that now becomes 5 goals, 14. That was a tough shot, though. The Tigers leading by 9 points. 15 minutes gone opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
But he's deserved to be in front, Chad, because of the way they've moved the football and the way that Essendon haven't defended it through the corridor.
Redmond with the kick in again, comes out to a pack. Dersma does well to recover. Hand pass to Kako, who hand passed it to Martin. Plenty of traffic around and pressure on these Bombers defenders to get it out. Setterfield hand passes it to Durham, very close to the boundary line. Martin's there, and he's pushed over by Mantle, who gets a little bit back from Durham. And players pushing and shoving just outside the boundary line as Martin hobbles his way off to the bench as well. We'll get Lex to keep an eye on that one as he looks sore. But it will be a free kick in the end, going the Bombers' way. And it's Dersma that'll take it. And he'll take it. No, it'll be sent back to McGrath. So McGrath will be the one to take it. After Mansell just pushed off in that contest. As McGrath takes it, he goes long down the line. Miller's there to bring it to ground. Spills out the back. Smart's in there for the Bombers trying to grab it. It's Hobbs who can extract it. Hand pass to Durham. Back to Hobbs. Hand pass to Merritt. Hand pass back to Durham, who can hand pass it across to Redmond. Centre half forward. Just dabs the kick inside 50. And it's very easy there for Boston to clean off that mark and take the intercepting mark for the Tigers and move it away via Taranto.
Who then gave it in turn to Jaden Short through the middle of the ground. Gets the hand pass away to Jack Ross. Kicks out laterally. Out to the Shane Warnstown wing where Sonsi marks to the Tigers. Up towards Campbell. Laverty reaching across. Got a bit of the jump up. And gave away the free kick in the eyes of the umpire.
Yeah. Richmond had to go wide there, just for those that are wondering why he didn't go longs, because Essendon covered it with 2 extra players. He had to go wide, the Richmond player.
Lex Pesher on the boundary.
Nick Cox has gone down into the rooms. He had his head in his hand. He looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Thanks, Lex. So, yeah, that's concerning for Nick Martin, who has been such a good player for the Bombers throughout this season. At right half forward, here's a chance once more for Brown to send Richmond inside 50. Kajitsky caught behind. He got right into the shoulder of Xavier Dersma, and it goes out of play for a boundary throw in as Sims and Laverty with a bit of pushing and shoving. Tigers leading by 9 points. It's been a good fight back after the Bombers keep the opening goal of the match.
Inside the forward 50 for the Tigers for a throw-in, giving them the chance to kick their 3rd goal for this first term. They only kicked 2 goals in the entire first half last week against Geelong. As it's tossed back in, Blackiston taps it out to Merritt, who tried to get it to Durham, couldn't get it to him cleanly, but Dersma will pick it up and pass it across to Sardis, who just kicks right into the centre of the MCG. Caddy and Vlosten will chase after it, and it's Vlosten that gets there quickly and first, and kicks it back to Broad. Defensive 50 for the Tigers. Hand pass back to Vlosten, back to Broad. It's a bit messy, but Richmond are desperately trying to get it out. Brown hand passes it away. Sardis picks it up for the Bombers, spins around, has nowhere else to go but for goal himself, and he nails it. Sardis had to make a split-second decision to go for home, and he puts it through, and he roars with delight. And the Bombers put their 2nd goal on the board for the opening term. And they're trailing now by just 3 points. 2 straight 12 Essendon, Richmond 2-3-15. It's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
5 hand passes to wreck that.
I was about to say, they deserve to score against. I mean, you got 2 of the most senior players in Broad and Vlosten. Just,
wow.
Like, almost just take the tackle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just willy-nilly, I suppose, handball to the deck 5 times and not expect a score against or a mark against or a turnover. They were lucky that it didn't happen in the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, just for those that are listening, when we say take a hit, you're not going to be caught holding the ball if you pick it up and just get hit, and even if you put the ball to ground, like the umpires let you go. If you go a step, you're gone. But for no unknown reason, Richmond tried to hang on to that football for far too long. The
ability to withstand the pressure. Mick Malthouse with you on ABC Sports. Setterfield to Zach Merritt, kicks inside 50. Caddy was dragged down illegally, says the umpire, against Miller. And the Bombers' emerging spearhead will have a shot in the left forward pocket, only 35 metres out from goal, and a chance all of a sudden for the Bombers to put 2 on in quick succession and wrestle back the lead.
Just unnecessary. Kind of just felt a bit of pressure that his guy had to lead up on him, but he was never a chance to mark that. It was over his head by 1.5 metres, and just like defenders do, if they feel that pressure, they give away a free kick, and that's just a unnecessary. It's a coach killer. If you're a forward, you love these ones.
Nate Caddy takes a couple of deep breaths. After 3 goals last week, he comes in from the left forward pocket, and there's something for Essendon fans to get excited about. His first of the night, and they respond to the Tigers' efforts at the other end to take back the lead by 3 points. 3 straight 18 to the Tigers, 2-3-15. Lex Pesher down on the boundary.
So I don't know who Nick Cox is, but Nick Martin is done for the night. The doctors just come back out and said, you are done, so that means Zach Johnson will enter the action.
What sort of injury do you think it was?
It looks like it's a right knee, but it's being assessed to how bad it is at the moment.
Because he got pushed in front of us. I'm just wondering. I hope he hasn't sort of hyperextended that.
You watched the replay. It looked like the way he was hobbling. I thought he got stepped on as he got pushed. So like a boot to the back of the Achilles or back of the calf. That's what it looked like. But again, if he's holding his knee, it could have been the way that he got stuck up in the turf potentially.
So a very early substitution for Essendon. Nick Martin going off for Zach Johnson just at the 21-minute mark of the first term. And the sub, Zach Johnson, is already into the game in just his 6th match for the Bombers. All tossed up in the middle. And it's held by Taranto on the ground, who hand passes it backwards towards Hopper. He puts the kick just inside 50. It's punched away, and it'll be running onto it in the end is Pryor, who can take it for the Bombers' defence. Hand pass across to Dersma, spun around in the tackle. Umpire says play on. Campbell comes in to take it. He's tackled over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw-in 55 metres out from Richmond's goal. So James Trezise, the sub for the Tigers this evening. And Essendon already used theirs with Zach Johnson coming on for Nick Martin, who's gone off with a suspected knee injury. Here's the Bombers leading by 3 points in time on of this opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Nankervis just pulls it out from the ruck. Hand pass towards Taranto. Couldn't get good connection with it. McGrath gathers and puts the kick right into the centre of the MCG. Tom Brown comes up, leaps over everyone and holds on to the mark for the Tigers. And he can flare it out towards Broad as the Tigers switch it to the broadcast side of the ground, and Broad kicks it over to Sonzi, who marks in front of the benches.
Bombers leading by 3 points, having kicked the last 2 goals of the match, the third lead change so far. And Sonzi veers out to the right, drives it inside 50, in the directions of Sims, in the pack, Ridley. Impressive mark.
Very good mark.
Boy,
Very
how
strong.
Bombers fans love seeing him back and doing that. Switches across the half-back line and finds Andy McGrath. Hand pass to Archie Roberts, who chips it out to Dersma. He marks at left half-back. The Bombers 3 straight 18 to the Tigers 2-3-15. Entertaining clash so far as 13th plays 17th. Roberts' kick was just a little shallow, but Laverty was able to get his fingertips underneath it. Switches back out to the right-hand side on the members' side. And the mark is taken by Jackson Pryor. The pick-up for the Bombers in the off-season as he sends it out wide. That's a good kick. Set it out to the advantage of Big Archer May as he gets his jukes out in front and claims the mark. He swings onto his right-hand side. Caddy slips over. He headed in that direction. Peter Wright's there. Nankervis with a fist. Just spoils it straight out towards the boundary line, and the umpire says throw it in. 80 metres out from the Bombers' goal, Chad.
It's almost like he wanted another hit out because that was an uncontested spoil. I'm like, mate, no, give me another contest. I want to pull around Peter Wright.
So there, Kervis and Wright will have to run towards this boundary throw-in, fairly shallow as they go towards it. They tap it away, and it's just going to bobble its way back out of the boundary line for another throw-in in the same position. So no movement there from the 2 rucks there who push it away, and we'll have a boundary throw-in right in that same position. It's Essendon 3 straight, leading Richmond 2-3. 23 minutes played in this opening term. Cool night in Melbourne, about 14 degrees at the MCG, but a solid crowd in for a couple of teams that are showcasing their youngsters tonight as Taranto pulls the footy out. Hand pass to Brown, who shares it back with Taranto. Hand passes it across to Young, whose kick goes down towards Nankervis, juggles the mark, and will be paid it. So Nankervis with the footy just forward of left half back for the Tigers, just waiting for his teammates ahead of him. Looks to load up on the kick and puts it on his left boot. A huge packle form. 4 risers can't bring it down. And it's Sardis who grabs it for the Bombers. Hand pass to Merritt, who hand passed it across to Roberts. Tried to get it back to Merritt. It wasn't a very good hand pass, and it's allowed an in here from the Tigers as Prestia tries to get the footy forward. Rioli's there. Can he curl it through? No. It was too straight and stayed to the left-hand side. So just a behind for the Tigers. Their deficit is now 2 points. It's Essendon leading 3 straight to Richmond 2-3. 24 minutes played in the first term.
Prestia needs to have a close look at what he wants to do. He's running into an open goal from 45 metres out and elects to go to a player who's got someone right on him. All he needed to do was to line him up, and he puts that through.
Yeah,
if he could kick the distance.
Yeah, couldn't agree. The open goal square doesn't even make the distance, he can roll it through. But I'll speak at Maurice Rioli. He's looking lively at the moment. He could have another shot there. He's had 2 turnovers that he's caused. Looking really lively early on.
Chad Wingard and Mick Moldhouse, your experts on ABC Sport. The Tigers take it back on the wing through Nick Florstone in game 250. Gets it forward to Houghton. Drives it inside 50. Ridley underneath. In the end, it's Blackiston who takes the intercepting mark, spoiling his own teammate. Swings it out to the left back pocket where Dersman takes the mark for the Bombers. Now Hasliol over the top. Works it to him at left half back, and they're on the break here, although the kick missed Hobbs and opens up the door for Tom Brown, who has to deal with an awkward ball. He slaps it with his left arm to his own advantage, chips it over Lual, looking for Tim Taranto, tapped it down and then spun out of traffic against Setterfield. Chips up to Campbell at half forward, hand pass over the top to Fall, back to Campbell in the right forward pocket. He loses his footing, and Zach Merritt lays the tackle. They almost had something building as a shot towards goal was looming, but the desperation from the Bombers captain laying the tackle there. The Bombers by 2 points.
How would it be with Tom Lynch down there now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
looks so different.
It's just so obvious. They don't go to anyone. They're scared stiff of putting the ball in the air, Essendon just marking it.
So it's Goldstein who got it across to Merritt, who kicked it down the Shane Warne stand side of the ground towards May, who marks and puts it on his boot to get it all the way to left half forward for the Bombers. But it's just ably intercepted by Broad there, coming across in front of Caddy. And he intercepts the footy, chips it across to Prestia, who played 13 games last year and is now trying to get a run of it in the second half of this season. He's battling injuries as he moves it across to Short, moves it across to Miller, and they've switched it across to the members' side of the ground where Sonzi takes the mark. Very slow approach coming from Richmond as Sonzi kicks it straight down the line looking for Houghton. Doing well to stop him from marking was Laverty, and it's the Bombers that could be on here via Durham, who goes directly inside 50 into the forward pocket. Here's Nate Caddy, who clunks the mark.
Well, it's just because no options, played on poorly. No, Richmond didn't have a target in front, and they elected not to go to any target, so turned the ball over, and this is what happens.
That's Nate Caddy will have a spot, difficult angle, and he'll start his kick from outside the boundary line to just ease this one towards goals. He puts too much on the bend, and it's just a minor score. So he doesn't add to his goal in this first quarter.
He mightn't have even got that. I think the boundary umpires overruled and said out on the full.
So out on the full, Bombers still ahead by 2 points.
As Nathan Broad takes the free kick up against the left behind post, goes short to Brown, and chips it into the defensive 50, and it's marked in the corridor by Jaden Short. Great to see him back for Richmond fans. Out to Nick Vlostone, who sends it up the wing with his kick to Trainer. Got presented with a surfboard from Cody Wakeman, one of his good friends outside of footy. And now he's going to get 50, Nick Vlostone. He got it back. And I think the instruction was given to Angus Clark to stand on the mark, and he might have taken a step forward, and I think certainly the Richmond players around him were aware of that.
He put his tongue out.
It's a short 50, mind you.
That is very short 50. Yeah. Well, the only reason is because he only put his tongue out.
Now, Nick Vlostone has only kicked 29 goals in his career, and this is probably just beyond him, so he's trying to stretch and switch to the top of the 50, and Jaden Short, this is well within reach for him. He marks just inside 50, slightly right of centre.
He wasn't named after his kicking action, was he?
Good to see Jaden Short back, featuring him in his first game since round 9 as he comes in, and that is a beautiful finish. One of the best ball movers for the Tigers as he sends it straight through the middle. And Richmond take back the lead by 4 points in this seesawing opening term. The Tigers 3-4-22 to Essendon 3 straight 18. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard.
Yeah, and you think about, we spoke about their forwards, so we don't have a leading forward. I know Kaziski's had a shot on goal, but two of their backs have kicked goals. You think about Short now, as well as Banks as well. Like, that's not a great score source as your half-backers being your leading goal scorers, and it is something that they're working on. I think, like I said, if we had that experience in that back half that they do in their forward half, flipped it, they'd be so much better for it. But they've just got so much experience in that back half. I mean, Vloston, Short, like, there's some great players. It's just that forward line they need to figure out, and then midfield as well.
Richmond still back the lead late in this first term as from the middle Ross gathers it, hand passes it over his head towards Nankervis, who puts it right to centre half forward for the Tigers. Prestia tried to gather it, couldn't take it cleanly. McGrath came in, hand passed it to Laverty, who curls the footy away from defensive 50 for the Bombers towards the well. Takes it, he's taken by 2 Tigers though, and he's all wrapped up on the outer side of the ground, and the umpire will come in and ball it up. So 30 minutes played in this first term. The leads continue to change across. It's Goldstein that tries to tap it down, can find it, the ball to Hopper, who kicks inside 50 for the Bombers, and it's Laverty that sits back and intercepts the footy for the Bombers as Richmond hold on to a 4-point lead late in this first term.
It's 17 times they've been inside their front 50. It's a good effort by the Tigers. Just wasting a lot of them, and it's an experience, that's all it is.
Laverty as long as he can, where May brings it down, and Oscar Smart gets a kick up towards half forward. And the mark is taken by Isaac Kako, but that's where the siren sounds for quarter time. Just the 5th time so far this season the Tigers have led had quarter time, and given they are 17th on the ladder with just 3 wins for the season, their fans would feel like that's a pretty positive start. 3-4-22 to the Bombers, 3 straight 18. So there was 4 lead changes throughout that opening quarter, in which the Tigers had goals through Short, Houghton on debut, and Banks, while for the Bombers their goals came through Sardis, Durham and Caddy. We'll keep you across the events in Perth. We're still about 4 minutes away from that match getting underway between the Fremantle Dockers and the Hawks. Great to have your company on Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Australia's Test Tour of the West Indies is on now.
What about that? Unbelievable!
Catch every ball on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Todd Goldstein will take the free kick. 37 years of age, playing in his 339th game. What an incredible athlete he's been. Called upon by Brad Scott, kicks inside 50, Caddy flew from the back, couldn't take the mark. Durham revs it perfectly, fires on goal and curls it back. Nankervis just trying to clear a space, a free kick for a hold, and it'll go Big Nank's way. The Richmond captain out to the left. He'll take his best from just inside 50. He gives it off to Banks on the run from 52. It's a good option as he sends it sailing straight through the middle.
Durham comes barging in, couldn't quite hold onto the footy cleanly, pulled to ground. It's Richmond that'll emerge with the footy from the stoppage there as Taranto grabs it, hand passes it across to Prestia. Little dinky kick forward and Houghton's there on the end of it to mark. Raj Houghton in game number 1 in the AFL, set sail and scores goal number 1. Hand pass back to Floston, back to Broad. It's a bit messy, but Richmond are desperately trying to get it out. Brown hand passes it away. Sardis picks it up for the Bombers, spins around, has nowhere else to go but for goal himself, and he nails it.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital,
and on the ABC Listen app.
Quarter time at the MCG. It's the Tigers who lead by 4 points over the Bombers. 3-4-22 to Essendon, 3 straight 18. The other disappointing news for Essendon fans, Nick Martin out of the match, and it means Zach Johnson came in before quarter time. The sub for the Tigers is James Trezise. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Thoughts of our experts, Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard.
I think it's been a great contest. I actually really love the ball movement between the arcs. I think both teams are acting pretty well what we expect. Using a lot of, I suppose, Essendon using kick mark. They're trying to pick apart the Richmond. They're going from one side to the other, trying to create space. And Richmond early on, I was like, this is a completely different team. They were going through the corridor, the handball receive. That's starting to dry up. And then, like you said, Mick, where do they go forward? When they go long, they don't look very predictable. You can see the guy on the mark. He's like, well, trying to find another one, trying to get some speed on the ball. But when they go long, they are missing the Tom Lynch. They are missing someone that can just put a contest, because some of the intercept marks from the Essendon's defenders are starting to be a little bit of a worry for me. If you're Richmond, I know you're up at this moment and you're playing a really good brand of footy. You're putting pressure on. You're stopping Essendon from the midfield unit that they're obviously winning the clearances there. But for me, Zach Merritt is, again, he's got 12 disposals. We spoke about at quarter time. We said, is this a guy that we need to put a bit of, onus onto, a bit of, attention to? Doesn't look like they are so far. One person that I'm really excited about for Richmond is Tom Brown. He's looked very exciting, and it's probably not a household name just yet, but he's 21 years old and he's having a stellar season. He had 3 intercept possessions so far, and he's really jumping at it and marking it at the highest point. And he looks for someone who's 21 and in a team that hasn't played their best footy, he looks very comfortable out there, Mick. And I'm liking what I see for Richmond. They even just their pressure that they have around the tackling, even just they push. I know Nick Martin off the field, but just the physicalness of them. It feels like they're back. It feels like something happened during the week, but they feel like they're ready, fired up for this game.
Yeah, it does. When I guess what we're looking at are two sides that are relatively even. I know that the Bombers have won 6 and Richmond have won 3, and you might suspect, well, it's double, but the fact is that a lot of good players are sitting in the grandstand, and Nick Martin is probably one of the better players for Essendon, and he's off now at quarter time. So the evenness really is, the strengths, the way I see it, are Essendon's back line, and the weakness of Richmond is their forward line. So that means that Essendon have to get, as you mentioned, there's goals come from outside of the forward line. On the other side, Caddy's certainly a fantastic target, as should be 2 metre Peter Wright. Yep. Hasn't been at this stage, but the experience of Richmond's back line is that even though they've got mediums, and you've mentioned about Brown, Brown's 193, 194 centimetres, but the midfield, and I know you're saying that Merritt's had 12, and he has had 12, but it doesn't, when he breaks, there's not a lot happening from it, whereas Richmond's bludgeoning type, they get themselves in a position, but then, as we say, break down. So the strengths are both at one end of the ground. So it's Essendon's back line and Richmond's weakness is their back line, is their forward line. So it's sort of contrasting. It's a fascinating game. I'm intrigued by the ruck work. I really like Nankervis. I mean, Goldstein's outstanding, but Nankervis, a premiership ruckman, just never stops trying. The secondary ones don't last long on the ball anyway, so I thought, it's going to be, their tongue's going to be hanging out in the last quarter, but you'd want to be 3 or 4 up at three-quarter time, and whoever is will probably win the game because there's not a lot of secondary players that can come and change the course of the game.
And Taj Houghton picked 12 last season. He was coming off the back of an ACL, and there was some that said he might have gone higher in the draft had he not been coming off that injury. A goal in the first quarter on debut, it's not a bad way to announce yourself,
Fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah. They've got some very, very good kids. Really good kids. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. Richmond by 4 points as we're set to get the second quarter underway. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Now Blackiston's gone into the ruck to start this quarter against Nankervis. This is a fair way to initiate yourself. Up against Nank, and he did well. Rose high and almost got claim for the first tap as Hopper dives in down low and he can't break away with Merritt and Setterfield over the top of him. So in the outer of the centre circle, still in the middle of the MCG, Blackiston engages with Nankervis, taps it down in the direction of Bankstow of Richmond. Hand pass to Taranto, quick hand pass to Prestia, gets it back to Taranto, sends the Tigers up towards half forward, but that's as far as they get as Ridley takes the intercepting mark for the Bombers across half back.
And that's Sims just knowing where to lead. He's actually led straight into the corridor when that's never going to go there. It's just, and that's experience. It's actually nothing to do with talent. It's knowing when to lead and when to just allow that to just hold your position and to just create a target. Hand in the air, this is where it's going.
Bombers defenders just edge the kicker slowly down the boundary side, broadcast side. Redmond looking for Hobbs, but it'll be a ball in just to the left of the Richmond bench.
How many new names are out there? Good luck to you guys at calling it.
So 4 teenagers for Richmond, 6 teenagers for the Bombers are out there, and that's not even including all the mid-season selections and players like that have got an opportunity in these two sides across this season. Here's one of them that'll get a free kick, so it is Blackiston who'll get the free kick. He was a mid-season rookie out of East Fremantle in the Waffle, getting his chance at 26 years of age.
Yeah, so he's been around the traps, so he understands football. Beautiful.
And it's a nice kick from him straight to another young player in May.
So he's just waxed a free kick against Toby Nankervis and kicked Lace out to a leading forward.
So
he belongs. Where's he been?
What are you guys complaining about? This is simple footy.
Absolutely.
So it's from Blackiston, who spent some time in the Waffle with East Freo, across to Archer May, who was at the Richmond VFL and then wasn't getting the opportunities he wanted, so decided to move across to Subiaco in the Waffle. So they both spent time playing in the West, and now Archer May from outside 50 with a long bomb towards goal. It's offline and just a minor score, but a couple of players combining there who are getting their opportunities this year. Just one behind for the Bombers. 3-1-19, Essendon trailing Richmond by 3 points. 3-4-22, the Tigers.
Well, don't look out of position. They're not gangly kids. They've been around for a little while, filled out bodies.
Banks brings the Tigers back into play, looking for Kashitsky. It's ball down in front of him, where Morris Rioli Jr. and Taranto laid the tackle on Setterfield. Essendon trailing by 3 points. 3-4-22 to the Bombers. 3-1-19. From the stoppage, spills down the way of Hopper, who gets a hand pass forward for the Tigers, but only as far as Zach Merritt. Hand pass to Setterfield, kicks end over end up towards half forward. Awkward bouncing ball for Banks. Oscar Smart gathers, and he's locked up by Broad. And the umpire will ball it up 65 metres out from the Bombers' goal, heading to the punt road end in this second quarter.
It's right now in the ruck contest against Nankervis for the Bombers. Taps it down, and it's pushed into the forward 50 by Durham, whose kick bounces once before going over the boundary line for a throw-in.
So when you kick it out like that, it's accidental. If it had been 20 metres this side, it's deliberate.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. I'm trying to explain that to 30,000 people that are here tonight.
So the ball tossed in the end. Hobbs tries to grab it and have a kick at goal. His kick is smothered though, and it's Miller that picks it up. Hand passes it to McIntosh, who backtracks and then just chips a kick right into the square. That's Sonzi that marks it.
Well, he had to. McIntosh looked up and had absolutely no Richmond player at all in sight.
Sonzi goes to Rioli, who tries to rise over the whole pack. Puts his knee into the back of Mason Redmond. And Mason Redmond will get the free kick for the Bombers as he returns for his calf and his hamstring injuries back into the side. Has to go for a jog to pick up the footy across the boundary line, but he'll get the free kick. A couple of kicks from goal for the Bombers, trailing by 3 points early stages of the second term.
I don't mind Morris having a couple of cracks at Mark of the Year contenders tonight. Why not? As Mason Redmond has the free kick, veers out to the right, sends it towards that launch pad, 30 metres out from goal. Big rise in the pack. Durham couldn't quite hang on to it. Spills out. Vlosten lays the tackle. Ball stuck underneath quite a few players now, and the umpire circles and will ball it up. 35 metres out from the Bombers' goal. They trail by 3 points. Crowd of probably a bit over 30,000 in at the MCG tonight. The 13th plays 17th. Thrown aloft. Wright tries to get it down. Kako's on the move. Setterfield tries to knock it out. Broad slides in. Can't get a disposal. Wright knocks it out into the path of Nankervis, who was taken high. And the Richmond captain will take it. He immediately looks to switch as he finds Campbell across half back.
And Campbell just hand pass backwards towards Banks. Takes the footy and chips the kick forward. He was looking for Broad. Laverty came over the top of him. Punched it down. And it's Clark that takes the footy and he's tackled to the turf. The umpire will ball it up on the outer side of the ground.
Richmond forwards, I know they're inexperienced, they've got to come up and meet the ball, because at the moment there's a gap of about 80 to 90 metres between the get of the football and them, and they can't get the ball to into their forward line because they won't come and meet the ball.
Tigers emerge with the footy from the stoppage. Taranto hand pass to Ross. Hand passes back to Taranto, who flicks the ball backwards towards McIntosh. Footy at centre wing on the southern side of the ground. Hopper doesn't know what to do with it, and then in the end he just chips it to left half forward, hoping for a mark from Sims, but it'll fall to ground. It comes into dispute, and it's Banks who has a go at it. In the end, it's Campbell that can take it out. He hand passes it towards Taranto. He hand passes around behind his head as he's being swung around in the tackle-tage. Houghton holds onto the footy, and it's Zach Merritt that in the end brings Houghton over the boundary line for a throw-in. So they gain some territory there, the Tigers. It might not be the cleanest way to do it, but they've gained the footy to left half forward. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Mick, you mentioned before the inexperience of the forward line. It's been very interesting watching Adam Uze address every single young player that comes off to the bench. Not that he wouldn't do that usually, but it's so much attention to detail tonight.
Thanks, Lex. 18-14. The inside 50 is the way of the Tigers so far in this match. Richmond holding a 3-point advantage. Thrown up close to the boundary line. Blackerson doing the ruck work against Nankervis. Nankervis one down the tap, but Merritt for the Bombers. Kicks up the wing. Wright comes out, presents, brings the ball down to the front. Unable to gather it, May. It spills out the way of Miller, almost run down by May as he drives a kick up towards half forward. Sims has knocked underneath it, and the Bombers have the numbers to clear. McGrath, out pass inboard to Merritt, kicks down low, unable to take the mark with Setterfield. Spills away. Kako gathers for the Bombers, almost run down, got a hand pass away. Got away from Taranto. Quick 1-2, Kako as he gets it back through the middle of the ground. Hand pass to Sam Durham. Floats the hand pass to Merritt. Too slow as he's run down in the end by Jacob Hopper. Play on's the call. It's gathered by Nick Vlosten at half back.
He hand passes out wide towards McIntosh. Little dinky kick forward towards Taranto. Got two hands onto it. Couldn't mark though. And that allows an in here for Setterfield to grab the footy and put Essendon inside 50. This time right, two hands. Holds on to the mark. He was in a battle with Young for the footy, and Wright gets paid the mark and will have a kick 45-degree angle, or tougher than a 45-degree angle. about 50 metres out from goal.
And that's exactly what not leading and calling for the ball is, in a position where you feel like you got your ground. And that's just not what Richmond are doing. They're just leading. They're not in great positions. 2 metre Peter. Obviously stronger as a body as well, but that's just smart positioning there.
So Peter Wright jogs in, lets loose from 52 metres out from goal and misses just across the face to the left-hand side. Means Essendon trails by 2 points, 3-2 the Bombers, trailing Richmond 3-4. 8 minutes played in the first term. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Who didn't have a shoe on just then? Can you guys see up there whose shoe was left in the centre circle?
It was Mick.
Mick, come on.
Might have been the rundown chase on Zach Merritt, who might have lost a boot, but seems all is accounted for now as Miller, risky kick out of defence, spots up Tom Brown. It's a beautiful pass that found him at centre half back. Hand pass away to Nick Flostone in game 250. Kicks it up to Campbell, centre wing on the worn wing. He looks up, has options at the top of the 50, one of which is Jack Ross. Zach Merritt forces him to push back behind his mark as now the Bombers have got numbers back. So comes inboard to Flostone.
Very good ball movement by the Tigers, really good ball movement. It pulled up because the Bombers had numbers back inside the back 50.
Only really has 1 or 2 players behind him, so tries to deliver a ball inside 50, but Laverty read it best up against Kazitsky and takes the intercepting mark. Right back pocket for the Bombers. It's Richmond who lead by 2 points.
As the kicking comes out, just hits Roberts, who quickly hand passes it with Durham in a 1-2, gets it back. He hand passes to Merritt, puts it in front of him, and the Bombers captain can run onto it. Just pull the kick. He's looking for Kako. It's in front of him. He has to go chasing after it right at the top of the 50. And in the end, hand passes out of the arc across to Hobbs, who shrugs the tackle. Hand pass to Dersma. The umpire's called a free.
Oh, it should have been a free kick to Rioli.
Yeah, high fend off.
Yeah, too right. It got him right in the throat.
In the end, it's a high free kick going the way of the Bombers and Hobbs.
Yeah.
Like a frustration free kick, that one. He's had enough.
Yeah.
So the footy will come down to Ben Hobbs, quickly to Lex Pesce on the boundary.
It was Sam Banks, and his shoe is back on.
There we go. Important. As Ben Hobbs now have that free kick. There's a couple of kicks from goal for the Bombers. And he loads up on it too to get plenty of it. Right at the top of the goal square, Nankervis was there for Richmond. Ball spills to the back where McIntosh takes it. He hand passed it away towards Sonzi, who kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Well, he laid off the hand pass, McIntosh. He probably should have got the ball and give the ball to McIntosh. The ball fell between the 2 Richmond players, and he nominated McIntosh to get the football so he can get an easy hand pass off, and then wasted the ball terribly.
Xavier Dersma with the free for the Bombers. To banana it through, it was left all the way. It's just another behind. So no goals scored yet in this second term. Richmond lead cut back to just 1 point though.
Yeah, that looked like a winger kick.
That was
didn't even give it a chance.
It's too far out for that sort of kick, wasn't it?
Maybe for a stock standard forward would have a crack at that, but that didn't look like he knew like he was very comfortable with his shot.
No.
3 behinds for the Bombers in this second quarter. As that kick from Luke Traynor goes out on the full, and all of a sudden this does feel like 13th versus 17th just for a few moments. As Smart takes the free kick, looking for Caddy, can't get it over the fingertips of Miller, who spoils it out of play. Caddy was caught behind, Hobbs was in front. A boundary thrown in the left forward pocket for the Bombers, with Richmond leading by a point.
Well, for the amount of ball, actually, Richmond have had a lot more of the footy, a lot more hand passes, and a lot of junk hand passes too. So, but really, Essendon should be doing better with Caddy and Wright down there, just not capitalising on the opportunities.
Zach Johnson's into the game, the sub for Nick Martin, who was subbed out in the opening quarter with an injury. So the sub, James Trezise, not used for Richmond as yet. Another stoppage in the forward pocket for the Bombers, who trail by just a point. Slapped down the way of Tom Brown, under pressure, got a hand pass to Hopper, trying to get a hand pass back, but that's where they lose possession. Dersma, hand pass to Durham, he's tackled and brought down by Traynor. Umpire waves play on, short, spun in a tackle by Ben Hobbs. And it's 55 metres out from the Essendon goal, and the umpire will call for the ball and ball it up at left half forward for the Bombers.
Tackling counts mounting up because the Tigers just keep giving the ball almost straight to a teammate who's under pressure.
So Prestia has the footy this time, hand passes it away to Sonzi, who has to chase after it. Durham gets to the footy first, hand pass to Dersma, hand pass back to Sardis, who puts the kick inside to the forward 50 for the Bombers. There's 3 Tigers players around the footy, and they're happy to just lock the ball in. And wait for the umpire who's slow to come in and demand the footy back as Floston continues to hold tight on the footy. And short. No one wants to let May up from the bottom of the pack.
Essendon's still got 2 behind the ball. I find it amazing. Tigers are getting sucked into too many players at the ball.
Yeah, that must seem like the under 10s, under 12s reset.
It is.
Get it out of it, because you got Goldstein, you got against Sims, you got some guys down there and Ridley. They're going to mark the ball here, even if they clear it.
Exactly.
Another stoppage in the forward 50. It's tapped away and it'll be chased over the boundary line for a throw-in. So 4 lead changes in the first quarter. And yet it's just Essendon with 3 behinds in this second term. It's Richmond leading by a point.
I'm just trying to identify the player that should come back. Richmond have got 2 extra, and it hasn't equated to a clearance at all.
I think Trainer's one as it's thrown in. Nankervis trying to clear it for the Tigers. 7 inside 50s to 3 this second quarter, the Bombers' way. Tom Brown's tackle brought down by Setterfield and Sardis, and the umpire will ball it up.
Well, there's one from Richmond have dropped 1 back in the goal square, so they've got 1 extra behind.
Umpire throws it aloft. Right wins down the tap. Setterfield down low. This is a rolling maul at the moment as neither side can really have the polish to try and extract it, and the umpire once more called into action.
Give a free kick, come on.
Should have been a free kick there, going to ground.
Richmond 3-4-22 to the Bombers 3-3-21. This time it's cleared away by Richmond. Hopper receives the hand pass. Got it from short. Kicks up the wing. Fall can't take the mark. Ridley can't either. Fall slides in. Rioli throws a boot at it, trying to clear the congestion. Pryor knocks it out for Essendon to Ridley. Tackle but got a hand pass away. Setterfield through traffic. Hand pass to Sardis. Gets it back to Todd Goldstein. It can chip it to Laverty across half back.
Moves it across to McGrath, who switches it across to the southern side of the ground, where the mark will be taken by Johnson, coming on as the sub in the first quarter for Nick Martin with a suspected knee injury. Chips it across to Kako, last week's rising star and the 4th rising star for the Bombers this year. His kick comes down the ground. McIntosh gets in his way of the footy, which means the ball spills to ground. Roberts does the tackling. Kako has to go in after it as well. And the umpire will ball it up outer side of the ground as Mansell gets up from the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, Essendon are setting up the field better defensively. You can see they're owning the outside and they've obviously got a +1. But, yeah, Richmond are just obviously putting all their numbers at the stoppage.
Richmond's still holding a 1-point advantage. Setterfield went after it. The ball comes out the back of his legs towards Goldstein, who hand passes it away. Sardis gets a fingertip but can't pick it up either. He has to go in after it, and his teammate Roberts comes to help him out. And it'll be Taranto on the bottom of the pack as plays locked in that outer side of the ground.
If we get a few injuries, they can always play against the British Lions. That's what it's like at the moment.
It is a little bit of a scrum, isn't it? And there's the free kick. And it'll be Elijah Sardis for the Bombers who gets the free kick right at centre wing on the southern side of the ground. Richmond still leading by just 1 point.
That's the one. That's an explainable one. You just say, well, it's just to break up the pack.
Sardis around the back to Roberts, who switches across half back to Laverty. Kicks out to Johnson on the bounce, the sub into the action. Rioli comes charging at him. The kick looking for Tursma. Great mark. Trainer running back with the flight, reeled in a one-handed mark. Stretched out his left arm at full stretch and was able to reel in an impressive mark. He turns and comes inboard to Nick Vlostone. Vlostone out in front of Rioli on the bounce. He can't trap it and it goes out of play. And a boundary throw in. Maurice Rioli Jr. Here's, of course, Maurice Rioli Sr. became the 71st Richmond Hall of Fame member tonight, Mick, after being officially inducted at the MCG. 1982 Norm Smith medalist. Played 118 games for the Tigers and picked up 2 Jack Dyer medals. Shallow throw in. Goldstein takes it out of the ruck. Hand pass to Sardis. Across half back to hand pass to Merritt. Almost tackled and brought down. Got away a hand pass to Dersma. His kick is a turnover. Trainer takes the mark for Richmond.
His Trainer is one of those bright sparks, having a very good game tonight for the Tigers. Kicked the winning goal for Vic Metro during the Under-18 National Championships at Docklands last year. As he chips it across to Taranto, who chips it to Miller, who puts the kick inside 50 for the Tigers. Sims is on the end of it.
Much better. Much better. Well weighted. Held his ground in the forward line. Didn't attract a lot of... Essendon just fell back into the hole where it was going to be between the kicker and the goal line. But he kicked the ball on a, say, what would you say, 70 degree, which meant that he had no physical contact from his Essendon opponent. Really good kick.
Tough kick for Thomas Sims coming up. 45 metres out, a tight angle. He skews it off his boot, something shocking. It's out of bounds on the full.
There has to be a magnet in that corner. There's been 3 out in the falls right near that post. Someone in the crowd, own up to it.
Lex Pesce on the boundary. Is there a bit of a breeze at all?
There is no breeze. I'll look into the magnet, though.
What is going on?
I'll walk around.
The Bombers try to work it up towards the wing. Isaac Kako is tackled across the boundary line and a throw in. Richmond still hold a 1-point advantage. They haven't scored. I was about to say, just that one shot out on the full from just their 4 inside 50s so far in this quarter. Meanwhile, the Bombers have had 9 inside 50s for 3 behinds. Mac Lynch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard with you. Goldstein gets a hand pass to Dersma, releases Zach Merritt. He runs the boundary line on the members' side. High searching ball in the direction of Hobbs, but well read. Tom Brown comes flying in from the side and takes the intercepting mark for Richmond. His kick, though, it missed Campbell. It clean bowls Clark. Gathered by McGrath for the Bombers. Hand pass away to Roberts, and Setterfield's gone. Mansell lays the tackle. Richmond take it back. Houghton gets a hand pass forward. He links up with Jaden Short. Hand pass to Toby Nankervis on the wing. He chips it looking for Fall. He can't take the chest mark. It spoils out. Ross's hand pass over his shoulder. Looking for Trainer in the pocket. He wants to chip it over the top for Koschitzky, but he puts it out on the full. Oh dear, those magnets. Or maybe the skills.
That magnet, I'm telling you, someone in the crowd knows something we don't. And it's Essendon down there. I don't know.
That's a shot on goal. That should be a shot on goal. Forget trying to tweak something 25 metres. Just hit the goal line. See what happens.
Johnson goes with a long kick out to a pack where still no one gathers it cleanly. It's just pushed along the ground until Nankervis can take it. Hand pass it across to Trainer. Flicks it across to Taranto. He puts it into the pocket towards Koschitzky. It's all a bit comical at the moment. It spills up off his chest and he spills the footy over the boundary line for a ball in, still in that right forward pocket where that magnet might be, Lex.
I'm going to go ask some questions.
I feel sorry. He's been out to the side. He just seems to be so anxious to get to the football. He's just overcooked the mark. So it's really sad.
Still a chance for Richmond in this second quarter. Taranto pulls it out. He'll have a quick shot at goals. It's punched through by Laverty. 4 are behind. Richmond's lead extended out to 2 points. Richmond 3-5-23, Essendon 3-3-21. There hasn't been a goal scored in this quarter. We've just ticked over into time on.
If you don't laugh, you cry. Koschitzky had 3 goes at it. Fell out of his chest, into his hands, and then bounced off his head. The Bombers run their way out of defence. Sandy McGrath through the middle of the MCG. Hand pass to Lual. Drives it looking for Peter Wright. Well done. Getting in front position. It's gathered away by Young. He wins that one-on-one battle and sends it out to Sonzi, who marks it left half back. Richmond by 2 points. 20 minutes gone, second quarter. We haven't had a goal so far in this second quarter. As he kicks around the boundary line to Taj Houghton. Kicked a goal in the opening quarter on debut. Pick 12 in last year's draft. He veers onto his right-hand side, sends a high ball up towards half forward. Koschitzky's caught behind. He did make the spoil, but had an arm around the chest of Ridley, and a free kick going the way of the Bombers at half back. Adam Uze went to Taj Houghton's family during the week to make the announcement. Did you ever go to any of your players' houses, Mick, to let them know they were making their debut?
No, I didn't, quite frankly. Told them during the week.
Was it just they were named in the paper and that was how they found out?
No. Certainly told them. Give them a fair warning too.
Yeah. So Goldstein, long kick inside 50. The ball will spill down to a pack. It's cleared away in the end by Brown, who can just get it as far as Sonzi. Hand passes it away towards Short, who's got a little bit of a space to take 2 bounces in front of the Shane Warne stand, but then has to hold up and hold on to the footy. Kicks back towards McIntosh. It is. You want family to come down and be able to join in the celebrations and travel if they want to or they need to. So McIntosh takes the ball. Long kick all the way to left half forward for the Tigers. It's Laverty and Ridley who raffle it off, and Ridley intercepts the footy for the Bombers. Chips back towards Laverty. And the Bombers will work it all the way across the defensive side of the ground towards Johnson. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Speaking of the Houghton family, Ollie Houghton played in the VAFA game today against Western Australia. So the Houghton families watched a lot of football and they would have made the mad dash from Elstonwick Park to the MCG.
Of course, his dad, Trent, played 78 games for the Magpies and the Blues. So they are a footy family, the Houghtons, and Well, it takes away the FaceTime call, which has become the stock standard for the media department to let their family know they'll be making their debut. As Todd Goldstein takes the mark at right half back. You may have realised the intensity in this game has dropped a little as the kick to Lual from Goldstein never got to him. McIntosh made the spoil. It's gathered by Sonzi. Kicks inside 50. Mansell caught behind. He dragged Roberts down and gave away the free kick.
They've just missed target after target. They're kicking the ball short, but they're missing the most obvious short that's clear. And I'm talking about Richmond here. They really have had enough of the ball to be 3 or 4 goals in front, quite frankly.
The Bombers through Ridley and then Pryor out to Hobbs on the wing. Kako drops the mark at left half forward. Has enough time to regather. Side steps around Banks, down low for Peter Wright. He takes the mark, sliding in on his knees. He's just inside 50, but out to the left.
Yeah, well, you know your capabilities, and Peter Wright can knock this over quite comfortably from this distance.
Yeah, his last set shot, if there's anything as a good behind, it was a beautiful kick. It was just offline. It was dead straight as it could be, just in the points. So he's a beautiful set shot.
Isn't he? His action is pure.
We're gonna stitch him up here, aren't we?
I was going to say
the media curse.
We need something to engage in. Peter Wright with footy in hand, shooting from just outside 50. He comes in and he leaves it out to the right-hand side. It won't have to journey. Spoiled by Nankervis towards the goal mouth, and it's rushed through by Jaden Short.
That's on us, Mick.
Richmond lead by a point.
Well, we said pure. He leant back. He didn't run in far enough. He did all,
hit his foot.
That's about as close as it got.
We see a shot on our monitor in the commentary box of Tom Lynch. I wonder what he's thinking with all his goal kicking.
Oh, Jonty Fall with the footy just chips it towards Taranto. So he's in front of the Richmond bench where, as Lex mentioned, Adam Uze's been chatting to plenty of his players when they come off, and Taranto just forced to go back towards Young, who's in his return game to the AFL from an ACL. Has spent time in the VFL, but now back into the AFL. Moved it to Banks to Vloston, who's gone back defensively towards Broad, who's still in defensive 50, and he chips it back to Young, who's now got it in the same place where he started the chain.
They're all going to look brilliant with all the possessions they're getting. It's going sideways.
Just sharing it around to get it somewhere as the kick comes down the line. It's an Essendon intercept mark. Dersma doing well there to hold on to a good contested grab and take it for the Bombers. And pass across to Pryor, who moves it down the broadcast wing. Just a little chip comes forward to Setterfield. And Setterfield's marked it at left half forward for the Bombers. He puts it inside 50, was looking for Hobbs, spills out the back towards Durham. Hand pass to Merritt, has to hand pass to Redmond, who weaves his way inside 50, chips the kick towards Kako. It was perfect. And Kako marks and will have a set shot at goal, still from a fair distance out, 45 metres. He'll take the kick and a tougher than 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's kicking depth, but he's going to have to go probably close to 50 to knock this over.
Yeah, he might have to wheel around just a little bit, getting closer to the man on the mark here.
I just don't understand why those Richmond players aren't, there's one ready for it.
Played every game this season in his debut season for the Bombers and was the Rising Star nominee last week as well. He arcs around to get distance on the kick and puts it offline to the left-hand side. So another behind to write in your books for this quarter. It has drawn the scores level though. So Essendon now have tied things up. It's 3-5-23 apiece. 26 minutes played in the second term.
Jaden Short brings the Tigers back into play. His kick was short. Volstone's able to tidy it up. An underground hand pass which works in the end to Tyler Young. He gives it to Vloston. He's going to kick it all the way back. Sonzi, who marks in the defensive goal square. What do you say at half-time, Mick, when it's been 5 behinds to 1? At times, as a coach, you just focus on the next quarter.
Well, what can you do?
Kako, inside 50, finds Hobbs.
Well, they've dug a hole here, the Tigers. Any team that wants to overuse the football in today's football will give it up on the 5th or 6th, and that's the 5th possession there, or 6th possession. So it comes straight back. This will hurt them. You've got to make the opposition feel the pain in your 50, not their 50.
This is the 15th inside 50 for the Bombers this quarter. Richmond was 7. Footy in the hands of Ben Hobbs, who comes in, fires towards goal, and he drags it to the left-hand side. So a goalless quarter from both sides. And the Bombers put on 6 behinds to Richmond's 1 behind, but it's enough for Essendon to have the lead by a point at half-time, after Richmond led by 4 points at quarter-time. Essendon 3-6-24. So the Tigers 3-5-23. Same goal kick as it was at quarter time. Short, Houghton and Banks for the Tigers. Sardis, Durham and Caddy for the Bombers. Chad Wingard and Mick Moldhouse with their assessments on a arm wrestle of the second quarter.
Well, can I just say that, you know, having watched bits and pieces, I must admit I've really had a look at the old Tour de France and a few over the weekend, because that happens once a year. These happen, but when you have a look at a game, a bit of the game today, and you see how good GWS are. I watched, say, Adelaide, bits and pieces of Adelaide beat Footscray or Western Bulldogs. You watch the game, Collingwood get knocked over by Gold Coast, and then you watch this game, and we're watching the top 9 clubs play only one side out of that top 9, and that wasn't such a Carlton just played without confidence, but this is the gap between the best and the worst. And with all due respects to the blokes that are out injured, it is the decision making, it is the lack of trust in one another, it is the overuse when you're not a skilled side. And both sides are doing that, because we can't say that one's better than the other, both 3-5 and 3-6 respectively. That you walk away shaking your head and think, can these teams, or how long is it going to take these teams to build a competitive side that will take on the best sides consistently, not just a once-off, consistently. I think the AFL would be bemoaning the fact that we have a totally split system. Top and bottom are so distinct, and we're witnessing it. You know, it's in your call. We listen to your call, Matt, Lauren. You know, it's frustrating to even watch, and you think, you in your own mind, you think this is what he's got to do. I'm not saying we're right all the time, but we're pretty. I think we're not far from it, and the option taken is disgraceful, and a ball rebounds back into your back line, and then even you get Vlosten, then overhand passes it and goes to Broad, and Broad goes back to him. Inevitably, I think it was the 5th possession, and that's consistent with the whole game. It ends up in a player's hands 45 metres out, and he kicks the ball way left and misses. Sad.
It was 7 rounds to go. If these two sides have fallen that far behind the peloton, it might be a tough couple of months to close out the season. What have you thought, Chad, about what has at times been entertaining in the first quarter, but it became a real scrap in that second term?
Yeah, and you can see the frustration on the players as well, especially the Richmond side. I feel like they're the ones that have more experience at the moment. They've got the guys that are... I think they should be playing a little bit better, especially Vlosten and Short. I know he's his first game back, but there's a few guys out there that are making... and Broad as well, making just simple mistakes that you don't normally see. I mean, I actually wish there was a rain cloud coming, to be honest. I wish it was bucketing down right now, because it actually might improve the game. Yeah. That's how I see it at the moment. I'm glad this isn't played under the roof. Yes. It's just the disposal use, like you said, Mick. But for me, if we're looking about the positives, I think about Kako. He's had 7 touches this quarter, and he looks really potent with ball in hand. Yes, he missed that shot on goal. But again, they're not looking. It is a big gap between the bottom, and the top, and they're not even thinking about how do we compete with the top. Definitely not these two sides. And yes, Essendon have got a lot of talent out at the moment. But for Richmond, it's just how do I compete? What are the effort? What are the things we're measuring each week? And Uze's come out a lot of times saying as long as our effort and intensity is there, we're building. And I actually like when both sides go through the corridor, because that's when they both look the most dangerous. And a lot of the time they're going corridor only off of turnovers. And when they do go through there, yes, they might not have finished with goals, but the game's exciting. And that's what we want to see at the moment. But yeah, it's been a tough battle, but a lot can happen in the second half. I think Essendon, I think they're ready to, I suppose, tear it apart, if I'm being honest. I think Merritt hasn't quite had the space that he normally would get. Yes, he's had a lot of touches. He's had 20 touches for the half, but none of them have really been damaging. He's had a lot of handballs. He's had a lot of ones that haven't really... He's got a lot of metres gains, but again, not impacting the scoreboard.
No, he's not impacting.
Like, he's not impacting the scoreboard or this game
he's
really
not hitting
at all.
He's not hitting targets, is he?
No one really is.
4 targets.
Yeah, no one really is. It's been a tough battle so far, but Like I said, we've got a half a footy and I hope it's better than the last half. That's all I can say.
Zach Merritt leads the way with 20 disposals for the Bombers. And the next 4 possession getters, all Tigers. Tim Taranto with 17, Nick Vorstone with 16, Dion Prestia with 15, and Jacob Hopper with 15 as well. So the Bombers hold a 1-point advantage here at the MCG. In Perth, it's the Fremantle Dockers who lead by, 5 points there. The second quarter's about to get underway, so there is an ABC call of that available on the ABC Listen app. Let's pause for the moment from the MCG and bring you the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News, good evening. I'm William Howard. The ABC can reveal a childcare worker accused of sexually abusing 8 children had 2 substantiated findings against him years before he was charged. Monique Hoare has this exclusive report.
The ABC can reveal Joshua Dale Brown had 2 substantiated findings against him in 2023 and 2024 when he was working at Creative Gardens in Point Cook, the same centre where he is accused of abusing children. The centre is owned by private operator G8, and the ABC understands Joshua Brown continued to be employed by the company. Despite it having investigated and substantiated allegations, he roughly handled a child in 2023. The ABC understands the Children's Commissioner chose not to refer that finding to the Working with Children Check Unit, allowing Joshua Brown to continue to work at centres across Melbourne until he was arrested in May this year. Police declined to comment but said anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers.
A witness has described how a brawl erupted in the moments leading up to a fatal shooting in Sydney's West this afternoon. New South Wales Police says officers were responding to the car park brawl at Westfield Mount Druitt when they were allegedly confronted by a man armed with a machete. It's believed the man threatened 2 uniformed officers when they fired multiple shots which proved to be fatal. This shopper says she saw 2 girls start to fight before it escalated into a brawl between more than a dozen people.
Eyelashes were ripped out, hair was ripped out, screaming, carrying on everywhere. A lot of people ended up coming out of Hoyts. We just watched the altercation go on. We went into the movies. After the movie had finished, we'd been told there was a shooting, and now everything's blocked off.
Police say a critical incident has now been declared. A West Australian woman who was found a German backpacker who was missing for 12 days in remote bushland, says it is a miracle she came across the stranded tourist. Carolina Vilga is recovering in a Perth hospital after she was found on a remote road more than 400 kilometres northeast of Perth. Police say the 26-year-old survived by drinking water from puddles after abandoning her stranded vehicle more than a week and a half ago. Local station owner Tanya Henley, who found Miss Vilga on a remote road late yesterday, says the young woman is lucky to be alive.
She said it was very, very cold, and it was. It was below zero, -1. It's been very cold up here. It is a miracle. 12 days. I was thinking the worst. I mean, I had hope, but I was fearing the worst.
The preliminary report into last month's Air India crash raises questions about the position of critical fuel cut-off switches, while suggesting aircraft maker Boeing and engine maker GE bear no apparent responsibility. South Asia correspondent Meghna Bali reports.
Both switches were moved to cut off seconds after takeoff, starving the engines of fuel. Cockpit audio captured one pilot asking the other why he did the cut-off, and the other replying he didn't. The switches were reset, but power couldn't recover in time. The plane crashed into a residential area, killing 260 people and injuring 67. 5 buildings suffered major structural and fire damage. No safety actions have been recommended yet for other 787s or GE engines. The probe, led by a 5-member Indian team with support from US and Boeing experts, is ongoing. Meghna Bali, ABC News, New Delhi.
Russia has launched a new barrage of drones and missiles in an overnight attack on Ukraine, killing at least 2 people in the country's southwest near the border with Romania. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russian forces launched nearly 600 drones and 26 missiles in the overnight assault. Ukraine's foreign minister says cities in the west of the country have been the hardest hit. In the city of Lviv, on Ukraine's border with Poland, nearly 50 homes, a university campus, the city's courts, and about 20 other buildings have been damaged in the attack. In sport, GWS veteran Lockie Whitfield says he's proud of how his side turned the game around against Geelong today to a record 26-point win at the Sydney Showgrounds. The 30-year-old collected a game-high 32 disposals in his 250th match for the club. The victory is the Giants' fourth straight win and sees them in 7th place on the ladder.
They came out of the gate, so we couldn't really stop it early. So to be able to stem their momentum late in that first quarter, then get our sort of ball movement and pressure game going from then on in, it was really pleasing. You know, we're in some form now. We're starting to find ourselves again. So it's really enjoyable, yeah.
And an injury-depleted Adelaide have held off the Western Bulldogs to an 11-point win. ABC News.
Don't miss a minute of the action. Live from Wimbledon. On now.
Take it with you on the ABC Listen app.
Australia's Test Tour of the West Indies is on now.
What about that? Unbelievable.
Catch every ball on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
There has to be a magnet in that corner. There's been 3 out in the falls right near that post. Someone in the crowd, own up to it.
Lex Pescier on the boundary. Is there a bit of a breeze at all?
There is no breeze. I'll look into the magnet, though.
What is going on?
So a goalless quarter from both sides. And the Bombers put on 6 behinds to Richmond's 1 behind, but it's enough for Essendon to have the lead by a point at half-time.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Half-time at the MCG. It's the Bombers who lead by a point, 3-6-24 to Richmond 3-5-23. Well done to Craig Davis. What do you do when there's no goals scored? You try and bring a couple of the talking points of that second quarter in which the Bombers, well, they booted 6 behinds to Richmond's 1 to at least keep it close, but the skills on display were every bit that of 2 sides who are in the bottom 6 on the ladder. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Lex Pescier is down on the boundary. Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard are your experts on ABC Sports. Don't forget there is so much available at this time of year. Mick mentioned the Tour de France, which is starting to take stride. But, of course, the third test between Australia and the West Indies gets underway tomorrow night. Once more, coverage is available on the ABC Listen app. So it's a day-nighter, so not the best time if you're trying to get some winks throughout the early hours of the morning. But there is cricket available to you, as there is the Wallabies and the British and Irish Lions. So there's a game tonight in Adelaide that's also available on the ABC Listen app. And once the footy concludes tonight, Wimbledon once more is on your radio. So via the ABC Listen app, just look for the ABC Sport button on the SMS, 0437 774 774. Steve in Ballarat says, Mick, that is why games like the Lions and the Roos, they draw their gold. Those games are good for the comp. I'm not sure about that, but I mean, it was a good draw for the Kangaroos against the Brisbane Lions, but I guess what he's pointing out is that every now and then you just never quite know what you're going to get.
Well, I've just heard from the officials they've locked the doors to keep everyone in.
Right, okay. Nobody is leaving.
No one's leaving. That's how bad the game is.
Right.
Look, we all hope, that, and taking your point, Chad, there was a number of instances through that first half that looked impressive, particularly early when both sides used the corridor. But then on the flip side of using the corridor, you think they're not defending the corridor. That's why they're able to run the corridor. Neither side were able to defend it. Then all of a sudden they become overstretched through the corridor. So everyone then went, well, we're going to go wide or we're going to go lateral. And then we've got to try to find a forward who will lead up at us and take a mark. Essendon did and missed goals. Richmond haven't, and as a consequence kicked 1 point. So both sides will sit down and analyse what we did right and what we need to do. They won't go over the things they did wrong, I wouldn't have thought, because it's more. You've got so many young players that there'll be more instructive of let's create something. Richmond will have to do something about that forward line, and Essendon, in my opinion, will have to probably be a little bit more use their forwards they've got better, so that they can give Caddy and Wright more opportunity than what they've had.
Bombers lead by a point here at the MCG. In Perth, it's Hawthorn who lead by a point in the second quarter there. which was the more significant result today? The Giants beating the Cats by 26 points, or Adelaide's 11-point win over the Western Bulldogs?
Oh, I think it's pretty much even. This was going to be. We picked this about 4 rounds ago. We said this round 18 is going to be unbelievable. And as the sides just come chipping away and beating the sides they're supposed to, it's all of a sudden 8 of the sides that occupy the top 9 we're going to play each other. The significance of it is that if you've dropped the game, it's one you've got to make up, because tonight, tonight, one of those sides will be 9th, and will be 9th by only percentage. So, but the Hawks could replace Geelong, even though Geelong got a very easy draw coming up. It's significant that the Dogs lost at home, and I reckon the way Geelong lost, double up this year against GWS. I think GWS have definitely got the secret to it, and the secret to it is keep their back 6 occupied. Don't let Geelong have any one free player. No run out of there. That means it's got to come from the middle, and if you can cut one of the middle players out, which I think they did today, then it puts all sorts of heat on them. And add on GWS. I know Geelong get better, but put Taylor in that side. He takes Neil. Neil doesn't kick 5 goals, believe me.
So Fremantle beat Hawthorn. They'll jump to 8th on the ladder, and the Bulldogs will be 9th.
Yes.
Hey, let's not talk crazy.
No, just saying. But it felt like the Giants, that was an important win, because against the calibre of a side like Geelong, yes, it was at home, but to have the contributors in the way in which they did, Aaron Cadman, he's an emerging star, and very much reminded everyone of that again this afternoon. And what a great player Lachie Whitfield has been for the...
You know what the most significant thing today? And take your hat off to Adam Kingsley, is the way that Stringer is playing. He's slimmed down, he's more mobile, he looks more dangerous. He created goals today, which was, we went through 18 months of kicking a couple, then missing a couple, and looking lazy, and didn't run and couldn't chase and looked overweight. And they said it's his build. Well, his build is remarkably slimmer, and he's going to be a real dangerous proposition when you put Hogan in. Hogan didn't do much today, so that forward line is all of a sudden looking as dangerous as any forward line in the comp.
Yeah, Hogan kicked 1-2. Aaron Cadman booted 6 goals. Jake Stringer with 4 goals. Toby Green with 2, while Jeremy Cameron booted 1-2, and Shannon Neal booted 5 for the Cats. Concerns around the Doggies, or will they find a way to get enough wins to be there come September?
No, I'm not concerned about the Doggies. They're not losing these games by much, and Bontempelli's playing well. Darcy played well late. He started a bit slower, but Norton, he's been looking so much better when Darcy's playing. I think he averages nearly 2.8 goals per game, almost double the amount of goals per game when Darcy's on the field with him. So I think they look very potent. I think Adelaide just had a better day. They look very good, and obviously you think about Phil Thorpe, how amazing he's been for Adelaide Crows. Like, he's a superstar. But I don't think I have Bulldogs missing. I actually have... if you want me to call it, I think I have Freo missing at this point.
I'll just throw this to you. Adelaide looked very good with 3 talls on a ground that was never going to be influenced by wet weather.
Crows?
Crows. If you come to this ground where the finals are going to be played, I have a feeling that one of their talls is going to be... He's going to be like the 5th Beatle.
That's going to be the big call for Matthew Nicks. Riley Philthorpe booted 6. Marcus Bontempelli had 37 disposals, and unfortunately Jordan Butts has suffered a lung injury, so he's going to spend the night in Melbourne, not joining his team to make their way back to South Australia. The players are out in position. We're just a little awaiting the TV broadcaster. This is a paid TV game, so of course they are running the show tonight, and they're still catching up with Adam Uze, so we're still a few moments away with the Bombers leading by a point, 3-6-24 to the Tigers 3-5-23. And you can get in touch with us on the SMS 0437 774 774. Matt Lynch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Mick Malthouse and Chad Wingard are your experts. Nick Martin out of the match in the first quarter with a knee injury. Zach Johnson coming in. James Trezise, the sub for the Tigers, still yet to be used. And Zach Merritt, the leading possession getter on the ground with 20 disposals, while the next 4 are all the Tigers midfield. All right, Oozer's wrapped up his chat. We're ready to go. The Bombers by a point. Here's Lauren Borden on ABC Sport.
6 behinds to 1 Essendon's way in the second quarter. They now lead by 1 point. So we'll see what the second half has in store for us as the umpire gets things underway in the middle. Durham hand passes it across to Merritt, and it's a quick clearance and inside 50 now here from the Bombers. It goes inside 50, but it's mopped up easily by Young, who chimes in with an intercept mark for the Tigers. So we've seen a lot of this tonight, where the ball goes inside 50 and then an intercept mark happens and it goes straight back out. A long kick from Young goes right down the members' wing, comes down towards Traynor, who's taken straight down the tackle, and the umpire will cross his arms for a throw-up.
Well, at least Richmond got the numbers across there to bring that ball to ground. It looked like another Essendon mark the way it was played, but surely the instructions are now bring the ball to ground, let the little blokes go to work.
Holstein palmed it down to Hopper, who just hand-passed it straight to Redmond, hand-passed it across to Merritt. He flicks a hand pass and puts it in the way of Pryor, who can find the hands of McGrath. Puts plenty of distance on this kick. McGrath looking for Caddy, who had back position though.
That's a good mark.
Intercept mark by Young.
That is a very good mark, because that's one-on-one there. Caddy had every right to think he was in the box seat.
So it's 2 intercept marks to start this third quarter. If he keeps doing that, he'll be in the forward line. Kicks up the wing. Fall takes the mark for Richmond. He looks up and he has Mansell across half forward, and Seth Campbell pushing inside the 50, so he's going to centre the ball to Toby Nankervis. It may open up the ground, though, for Richmond. He chips it out wide to the Warren wing, where Miller can take the mark. He looks out laterally and sends it in the direction of Kajitsky. He crashes the pack. Campbell's front and centre. Hand pass to Traynor. Was he taken over the shoulder? Umpire says he was.
He bought that.
He certainly did, and the umpire had every bit of it. And Luke Traynor will line up for a shot on goal out to the right. He's 35 metres out from goal.
Well, I've seen some buying free kicks, and it was a dead set free kick, but he bought that absolutely. The Essendon player fell for it.
And Sam Durham is not really a player who just tiptoes around the edges. He goes in like a bull at a gate, and unfortunately on this occasion got Traynor high. So Richmond had just the one behind in that second quarter. It would be rather ironic if they kick the first goal since quarter time as Traynor comes in and misses to the right-hand side. So the last 8 scores of the match have been behinds, but scores are level at 24 apiece.
He hit the post, didn't it? Is it? Smack the post.
It's close, if nothing else.
Yes.
So scores all level. There hasn't been a goal since the first quarter, though, and we've just started the third as Roberts brings in the footy and chips it across to Ridley in the back pocket, goes long down the line. Smart was there at the back on debut for the Bombers, but it's Boston in his 250th game who intercepts the footy and just moves it across to Rioli, who came on early as the sub last week for Lawler, who's now got a season-ending injury. His kick goal will be intercepted by Lual, who can hand pass back to Pryor, who then has to chase away after his own hand pass after it didn't reach Durham. Tom Brown comes in for the Tigers, hand passes it to Taranto, who hand passes to Hopper, who has a kick at the goals as he's falling, and on trend he misses. So a behind, but it does mean Richmond has taken the lead, the 6th lead change of tonight. They lead by a point. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Nick Martin has appeared. He has strapping on his right knee. He's icing it, and he has crutches as well.
Now that's not a good sign. One of the Bombers' most durable as well. He was up to 82 consecutive games in his career, so that streak is going to come to a close. There's a free kick going the way of Peter Wright on the wing. Chips it over the top to Blackiston.
Can we find out what's wrong? We let us down there.
The club said it was a knee injury, and they haven't really specified any more than that. As Blackiston sends a high ball up towards the 50, caught behind Durham, makes the spoil against Broad. Campbell was slick, hand pass away to Prestia, kicks up the wing. Awkward bouncing ball for Fall. He tries to tap it to the advantage of McIntosh. It was well done by Redmond. He gets it out to Blackiston, who arches his back and gets away from Camden McIntosh. Turns on his left, kicks inside 50. Nankervis in from the side. Takes the mark, although Caddy was shepherded out of it. And he will get a free kick in the right forward pocket for the Bombers. So just the bump which came from Tyler Young. There wasn't a whole lot in it.
Well, he probably was beyond the 10 metres, so technically speaking, that's a free kick.
If Luke Traynor sold it at one end, Nate Caddy certainly sold it at the other. has one so far tonight. Caddy comes in, he fires on goal and it drifts from left to right. It started centre, finishes just right of the right goalpost and a minor score. Enough to give the Bombers the lead by a point. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
The club is being a bit secretive with what the injury is. They are saying they have initial concerns, but they won't give too much away just yet. I'll keep trying.
Thanks, Lex. So could be one that they'll say they're waiting for the scans to find out what's wrong, but he certainly did come off looking sore in that first quarter and was replaced by Johnson almost immediately.
They tend to know ACLs, don't they? But they don't want to say it until it's 100% confirmed.
Yeah, it was a hard one as he kind of hopped off the field very close to the boundary line, so we didn't see a whole lot of him as he came off and went straight down to the rooms as Richmond work it down the southern side of the MCG via a string of hand passes. A kick from Hopper was looking for Campbell. He couldn't take the mark. In the end, Roberts picks it up for Essendon. He hand passes it back right in the direction of Hopper, who then puts the kick to the top of the 50. It's taken by Johnson, who hand passes it away. Roberts takes it, hand passes it across to Laverty, who hand passed another short one towards Setterfield, who basically hand passed to himself before finding Ridley by hands and moved it across to Dersma. And finally, Dersma can get on a little bit of a run here and get out of that traffic. He's taken 4 bounces and then he's forced to hand pass to May, left half forward, hand pass towards Kako, who flicks it across to Durham, who just eases the footy, looking for Caddy. Weil was there as well. And it's McIntosh who walked between the two of them and intercepted the footy for the Tigers. Scores remain level. It's 6 minutes gone. Third term Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
The last 10 scores have been behind since quarter time. Have to get Mick and Chad's thoughts as to who's going to score the next goal. As a free kick for a hold is going to go the way of the Tigers at half back. And Tim Taranto takes the free kick. Who do you think, Richmond or Essendon? Who's going to kick the next goal?
Someone from the Little League.
Well, who's going to score next might be easier.
The scoring isn't as challenging as kicking a goal. As the kick up towards half forward, Mansell came charging in. He grabbed Roberts when he wasn't in possession. And a free kick will go the way of the Bombers across half back.
I'll say now, Matt, I reckon it'll be Essendon because they've got better forwards.
They had a lot of inside 50s in that second quarter they couldn't capitalise on. As Redmond swings it out towards the wing, Hobbs takes the mark. Lost his footing as Brown came in late to lay the body contact. Scores level at 25 apiece. They played 7 minutes in the third quarter. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Hobbs darts the kick right to centre half forward. Again, it's a pack that'll form. Merritt went up. He was knocked out of it by Nankervis. And then Merritt's got to try and stand on the outside of the pack for a ball up right at centre half forward for the Bombers.
Jeez, he's bounced straight back up like a bouncy ball, didn't he? That was a tough hit from Nankervis.
You could hear the crowd too.
Yeah.
And all legal too.
Yeah.
Nankervis, all he did was go for the ball and spoil the ball.
Blackiston in the ruck contest as the umpire blows his whistle. And it's a holding free kick going the way of the Bombers in the ruck. And Blackiston will have it.
No, it's Merritt.
Oh, it's Merritt. So Merritt will take the kick from 55 metres out for the Bombers. He'll put it into the left forward pocket. Dersma was at the drop. Caddy was there. They run into each other in the end. Neither wins the footy, and Caddy might be hurt as he stays on the field. Stays on his haunches, rather, on the field.
He's holding his ribs, so it's okay. You don't run on your ribs.
You don't run on your ribs. So we'll just suck in a few deep breaths, Mick.
Yeah, he's got that's friendly fire right on the chest.
It's Dersma and Caddy that ran into each other. Ball tossed in left forward pocket for the Bombers. Again, it's players just diving on top of the footy. Happy to lock it up. Hobbs is in there for the Bombers. So is Day. And the umpire will come in to ball it up. About 25 metres out from goal. We haven't had a goal since the 29-minute mark of the opening term. It's scores level at the G.
Nankervis takes out of the ruck for the Tigers, kicks up towards half-back. Campbell one way, the other way was Laverty. Laverty gathers, drives it long towards goal. Can the defender strike goal? It's rushed through by Camden McIntosh.
They scored.
There's a behind for the Bombers. I'm not giving you the points, though, for that, Chad.
Well, I'll tell you what's a worry is that when Zach Merritt gets a mark, he's got 7 seconds, the best user out there, I would say, and he just bombs it up long 50 metres straight in the air. You know they don't have confidence when the best player in the field is not even looking for a lead.
So that's 8 behinds for the Bombers since quarter time, 3 for the Tigers. It feels like a soccer match, Essendon by a point.
And 7 lead changes, which is remarkable given a margin's never gone beyond 9 points. So it's just basically been trading behinds.
Well, there's no play on now. It's just kick the football, and you know inevitably one of them's going to give it up. Then it's going to come back again, start all over. That would be the fourth kick now by Richmond, at least.
And they haven't moved, more than 5 metres, Mick?
Well,
it's just been in a triangle.
Now that at least they've got a 50-metre kick, now it's got to be contested.
So Miller sends it long down to a contest, about half forward for Richmond. A hand pass comes over the top towards Taranto from full. And Taranto's taken over the boundary line. And it will be a throw-in. Or it might be a free kick for Taranto against Blackiston.
Well, Taranto was taken high, and the umpire did say something to Blackiston as he made his way off. I wonder.
Yeah, that's a free kick every day of the week.
I'd have given him a stern warning.
So Taranto will just pop it up to a pack. Blackiston was at the front of the pack to bring it down for Essendon. And Setterfield's there as well. In the end, it's socked away by Hobbs, who gets some distance towards Kako. Outside defensive 50, and he can run through the centre of the MCG, take a couple of bounces. He's got Caddy streaming all the way back to goals. It was a 2-on-1. It didn't favour Caddy. He couldn't mark. He brings it to ground. He needs some support here coming from Smart, very close to the boundary line. And he's happy to take it over the boundary along with Sam Banks for a boundary throw in about 40 metres from Essendon's goal. They moved it quickly to get there.
Well, it's living.
Now it'll be a boundary throw in.
It's living in the front half of Essendon, and when Richmond do have a little cameo performance to get the ball forward, it just comes straight out of their forward line so quickly.
Bombers by a point. Nankervis works his way to the front against Blackiston. Takes possession. He's tackled immediately by Durham, and the umpire will ball it up. The Bombers have it inside their forward 50. Kick the last 8 behinds of the match. The Tigers have kicked 3 behinds. It spills out the way of Clark. He lost his footing. Taranto tries to flick it out. That could have almost been a throw. Ross has bumped over the boundary line. Smart momentarily keeps it alive for the Bombers, and then it goes out of play. Over in the West, it's the Hawks who lead by 8 points there. 2 goals to Kalshadir, 2 goals to Jai Amos for the Dockers. So Hawthorn holding advantage there in Perth from the throw-in. Nankervis can't get a decisive tap. It spills out to Durham. It got it from Setterfield. Kicks inside 50. Kako on the move. He gathers. Vlosten gathers him. Didn't get a half pass away. Holding the ball. And Richmond through Nick Vlostone in game 250. Will take the free kick across half back. Into the middle of the ground for Morris Rioli Jr. He has Dion Prestia over the top, but couldn't get a hand pass away. Has to push back behind his mark. Now looks up, spots Tigers on the worn wing. Chips it out in the direction of Jaden Short. Plays on, gains 5 to 10 metres, and then pulls his kick straight in the direction of Dion Prestia. He gave away the free kick. And Mason Redmond takes the advantage, drives it up towards Caddy at half forward, in from the side, brings it down against Young. Miller gets back to support, hand pass away to Ross. Richmond away from half back, only for the moment. His kick is a turnover, and Dersma takes the intercepting mark for the Bombers on the wing. Hand pass away to Redmond, who kicks up towards Caddy at half forward. Young got in there to make the spoil for the Tigers, and it's gathered by Jack Ross, who chips it around the boundary line. Finds Trainer. And Trainer takes it at right half back for the Tigers. And he is going to get a 50-metre penalty here, which is going to help take him from half back to half forward.
That's stopping Richmond, really, because the play was already so far clear.
So just chip the kick to the top of the 50.
Run in, have a shot,
taken by Short, and Short's got the distance in him, we know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what he would have done? Been shorter and closer to goal had he played on, because there was not an Essendon play within 30 metres, Chad. 20 metres?
Yeah.
Could have played on.
So Jaden Short is the most recent goal kicker of this match. It was the 29th minute mark of the first term. It's now the 13th minute mark of the third quarter. He kicks from 51 metres out. It'll just drop short from scoring. It'll be pushed through, and it'll be a minor score. So that is scores level. It's 13 minutes played in the third term. Scores are 3-8-26, playing 3-8-26. All 6 of those goals scored in the first quarter of the match.
I'll make a rash prediction, Chad. You know what I'd do? Bring Vlosten. I'd bring Vlosten up to the forward line, even though he's held the back line together. What do you want to do? Do you want to win the game or save the game? So bring someone up with the smarts.
And read the ball,
Yep.
Last 12 scores have all been behinds for both sides as Peter Wright kicks up towards Blackiston. Crunch in the pack and was taken high in the eyes of the umpire. Sardis wants to take the advantage. He centres it Tom Brown one way, Luol the other. It's kept alive for the moment by Banks. He can't gather. He slides in and lays the tackle, which was over the shoulder on Archer May, who will get on shot on goal in the left forward pocket, only about 30 metres out from goal. May attacked the footy. Banks in the end trying to lay the tackle.
I'd love to see this tackle again. This is I hope this is not a reaction more so than what does take. Oh, he's got him. Well, his first one was just over the shoulder.
So the mid-season pickup from Western Australia, Archer May, who featured for the Tigers in the VFL. Is this his moment to try and break the dreadlock, and the runner behinds as May comes in from the left forward pocket. Hallelujah! Our first goal since the opening quarter. And the Bombers claim bragging rights and a 6-point lead. 4:8:32 to the Tigers, 3:8:26. The last goal came through Jaden Short at the 29-minute mark of the opening quarter. Since then, we've had 12 behinds since that goal from May. The Bombers by 6 points. Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard with you. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
And I tell you what, that's some of the hardest tackling you can do. Someone who's picking the ball up and running at you. It's almost you have to get them side on. It's one of the hardest things to coach. And unfortunately for us, it was the ability for them to get a goal. So it's something that we talk about. But Essendon, it's a reward for effort. I feel like they've been the better side the last 2 quarters, if I'm being honest. They just haven't put it on the scoreboard. And Caddy, for me, is one that's working extremely hard. He's just not quite getting on the end. He's getting spoiled at the last minute. He's been in about 4 contests, but just haven't been able to win one. So he's at least putting himself out there and looking pretty potent if he just gets his hands on them.
So it's about 45 minutes of playing time between goals, and finally there's one, and it's Essendon's advantage to lead by a goal. It's from the middle. It'll be a free kick going the way of Durham. Prestia a little slow, giving him the free kick. Free kick for Durham in the centre circles of the ground. Puts plenty of distance on the kick. Again, plenty of players converging. Caddy comes out the back, couldn't take it. The mark. Broad comes in to try and get it. He can hand pass it away. Falls down to Hobbs. He'll have a ping at goal. It won't make the distance. It'll be tapped away. Caddy does well to try and keep it in. And in the end, it's Miller that pushes it through for a rush behind. It's another quick opportunity there for the Bombers. Just a rush behind. Essendon's advantage now 7 points. 17 minutes played in the third.
As the Tigers bring the ball back into play. Through Jaden Short into the back pocket for Banks. And chip it up to the run of Tom Brown. He takes the mark in the right back pocket. So the last Richmond goal was that 29-minute mark of the opening quarter. As the kick up the wing, Blackiston from behind spoils it down. Down low, it's gathered by Swansea. Gets a hand pass back to McIntosh. Hand pass to Taranto. Prestia ducked out of one tackle. Hand pass missed the target though. Wright takes it back for the Bombers. Hand pass to Hobbs. He's kicking for Kako. Chopped off, beautifully read in the end by Young, who runs through the middle of the G, and it's too slow. His hand pass eventually links up with Jaden Short, who just bangs it on the boot. Inside 50. Kaczynski makes the spoil against Pryor. Foul keeps it alive. Hand pass away to Sims. Back to Swansea. Hand pass bouncing off the deck to Sims. He's unable to get it forward, and that's where it breaks down as Clark kicks it straight back up the wing for the Bombers, but only momentarily as Brown takes the mark.
Brown easily intercepts the mark unopposed and kicks down towards Kaczynski. Hand passes it off to Short. He goes inside 50, kicks as he's falling, and that is a mark to Luke Traynor. He was holding his finger as well when he came down to the turf. But the youngster has marked it for the Tigers inside 50. So it might be just a little wrist injury as he fell to the ground there for Traynor. A little sore as he gets back up. But he'll want to take his kick from 45 metres out, a 45-degree angle for the Tigers to get one back quickly against the Bombers. He's played every game this season. Just scored the 1 goal, spent a lot of time playing defence. Has an opportunity down forward, kicks towards goal, it skews off his boot across to the near side. So just a behind for Traynor. And it's Essendon's lead. Just cut back to 1 straight kick. Richmond 4-9-33 playing... Essendon 4-9-33 playing Richmond 3-9-27. 19 minutes played in the third term. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Pryor brings the Bombers back into play to Ridley in the back pocket. Kicks up the wing, and Angus Clark takes a good mark over the top of McIntosh. Hand pass away to Johnson across half back into the middle of the ground for Setterfield. He's going to switch it to right half back. Laverty takes the mark member side. Kicks out towards Roberts. He has some space. He marks in front of Morris Rioli Jr. and kicks a high ball inside 50. Tough one for Peter Wright and for May. They bring it down to the front, but the Tigers have numbers. Ross back to Sims. Hand pass put Vlauston under enormous pressure. He's tackled by Smart and the umpire will ball it up. Right forward pocket for the Tigers.
So it'll be a ball up inside the right forward pocket for the Bombers. Tapped down by Goldstein. A shot at goal will come as Setterfield was falling out of the boundary line. It goes completely across the face of goal. And across the other side we'll have a throw-in. So we'll switch from the right forward pocket across to the left forward pocket for the Bombers. And scored the only goal of this term, the only goal of the last 2 quarters to lead by 6 points. 20 minutes played in this third term. And it's the 13th placed Bombers trying to get their first win since they defeated Richmond in the Dreamtime game of round 11 as Goldstein taps it down. McIntosh desperately trying to gather it. Goldstein tackles him over the line. And it'll be a behind for the Bombers, which pushes their margin back out to 7 points. Just about 21 minutes ticking over on the clock in this third term. It's Essendon ahead by 7.
9 points is the biggest lead so far of the match, in which Vlauston brings the Tigers back into play. This kick is a turnover though. Johnson marks on his chest, the sub for the Bombers in the opening quarter for Nick Martin. He marks it left half forward. Kicks looking for Kako, can't get it to him. And Jacob Hopper filling in the hole takes the intercepting mark for Richmond. Not a lot of urgency to try and move it quickly though as he pushes back behind his mark. Now called to play on. Sends it out towards the Shane Warne stand side. Sims in the pack takes the mark in front of Kajitsky. Players streaming past him. He gives the hand pass now to McIntosh. And he chips it up the wing in the direction of Ross, who takes the mark at right half forward. He wants to draw an opponent. Hand pass to Taranto. Running the boundary at right half forward, looking for Kajitsky. Blackiston made the spoil. Matt Curvis's hand pass looking for Mansell is chopped off. And Redmond repels the Bombers. Chips over the top. Finds Hobbs and Essendon are out of defence.
Kicks it across to Weil, who marks just inside the boundary line. He'll go streaming past the Richmond bench, past the officials, and then past the Essendon bench as he kicks to right half forward. Looking for Smart, who was nudged off the footy, but can go around and gather. Spinning around the tackle, will get caught by the second. Just gets a hand pass away to Kako. No, he'll be pinned holding the ball.
Well done by Tigers. 2 players v1. They're always going to win if they could hold him up. Once they held him up, the second Tiger got over and helped his mate. That was they had to hang on because once he broke that, that's a 30-metre shot for goal.
So Oscar Smart from Leachfield Gumbauer up near Echuca gets pinned holding the ball, but has a crack at it as Banks takes the free kick for Richmond. Just chips it across to Short, and again he just has to go long down the line to a big pack forming. It's Johnson that'll pick it up for the Bombers. Hand pass across to Roberts, who swung around in a tackle by Mansell over the boundary line. Again, a little bit of pushing and shoving, but it'll be a ball in right at centre wing in front of our broadcast box. It's Essendon leading by 7 points, 23 minutes played in the third.
Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Luke Traynor he's back on, but that hand is really bothering him. He was with the physios for a while and came back on grimacing at the same time.
Durham for the Bombers gets a hand pass. Dersman got a hand pass to Sardis. Kicks inside 50. Smart's caught behind as Short gathers for the Tigers. Hand pass to McIntosh. Quick 1-2 as he feeds it to Prestia and back to McIntosh. Kicks out to Miller. Clark going back with a flight. Didn't give away the free kick. Did it cleverly. Gathers with one arm up against Miller, who then lays into him. A good battle between the two on the far side of the ground. And the umpire will come in and ball it up at left half forward for the Bombers. They lead by 7 points. 23 minutes gone in this third term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
It's been a tough slog for much of the night. It's Essendon just holding that small lead. As from the stoppage, it's Sonzi that gathers it and puts it right down the wing, very close to the boundary line. And it'll bounce, it'll stay in until McGrath can just get a fingertip on it.
That's a good result by Richmond there. That's a kick that didn't go in the air, didn't need to go in the air, had to go virtually out in front of a teammate who was outnumbered 2-1 and take the ball out of bounds. Now they can start in the half forward line as opposed to, as they've done most of the night, in the half back line.
They got the distance there and it's thrown in. It might work for the Mick as Prestia gathers it and puts them directly inside 50 to a good position, but the ball just goes nowhere near a Richmond forward. And it's Pryor who easily intercepts the footy. Hand passes it to McGrath. takes 3 bounces as he's running out of defensive 50. And then hand passes across to Laverty, who tried to chip it forward. Maurice Rioli intercepted the footy, and he can run here right around the boundary line to the top of the 50. He gets some speed on, then has to hand pass it away to Houghton, who pushes it back to Maurice Rioli, goes past him. Laverty pushes Rioli off the ball. McGrath tries to take a kick at the footy. He gets fresh air to it.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
That is absolutely outstanding by Rioli. He had nothing to kick the ball to. He lost the football. A lot of players give it up there. He got back on it and deservedly has got a free kick a long way out, but at least Richmond are holding the ball.
So it's just second and third efforts there from Maurice Rioli. The free kick against McGrath, and Rioli will pop it up to the top of the goal square. Dersmark gathers it for the Bombers, kicks towards Durham, who just tries to kick defensive 50. He does that. It's well tucked away by Smart. Did well to tap it over the head of Vlosten. Gets it across to May, who can just kick it out to a one-on-one. It's Caddy against Broad. Caddy can get there first. He picks it up outside of attacking 50, and the siren will blow to mark three-quarter time here at the MCG. We've had 7 goals scored across this entire game, just 1 in that third term after a goalless second quarter. It's Essendon 4-10-34, leading Richmond 3-9-27. The Bombers leading by 7 points, and the goal kickers so far tonight, all singles, 1 to Sardis, 1 to Durham, and 1 to May, and another to Caddy for Essendon. While for the Tigers, it's Short, Houghton, and Banks, the goal kickers for Richmond tonight. Clinchy?
Three-quarter time, 4 goals 10, plays 3 goals 9. 2 bottom 6 sides facing off, desperate to try and get a win to claim some bragging rights in the final third of the season. In the West, it's half-time there, and it's the Hawks who lead 7-4-46 to the Dockers 6-1-37. So Calchadia has a couple of goals for the Hawks. Shai Bolton with 2 and Jai Amos with 2 for the Fremantle Dockers. So that game is available on the ABC Listen app. Just click on the AFL button. Three-quarter time, Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Don't miss a minute of the action. Live from Wimbledon. On now.
Take it with you on the ABC Listen app.
Australia's Test Tour of the West Indies is on now.
What about that? Unbelievable.
Catch every ball on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Blackiston crunching the pack and was taken high in the eyes of the umpire. Sardis wants to take the advantage. He centres it. Tom Brown one way, Luell the other. It's kept alive for the moment by Banks. He can't gather. He slides in and lays the tackle, which was over the shoulder on Archer May, who will get on shot on goal as May comes in from the left forward pocket. Hallelujah! Our first goal since the opening quarter. And the Bombers claim bragging rights and a 6-point lead.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
That was it, the only goal since quarter time, and it went the way of the Bombers. Archer May, they hold a 7-point advantage, 4-10-34 to the Tigers, 3-9-27. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. The thoughts of Chad Wingard and Mick Malthouse with you.
Yeah, it's been a tough game to watch. If I'm I'm going to put my Richmond coaching hat on right now. If I'm your forward line coach, I'll be saying I can't afford to give up a number. I've got to make sure we have even numbers ahead of the ball. That's the first thing I would do.
Half-time, that should have been absolutely plain.
That quarter just then, again, any time they did go into their forward 50, they're outnumbered. And they're not good enough to play with an out. They actually might not be good enough to play with an even, but at least give them a chance.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the first thing I'd do if I was Richmond. Like you just mentioned with Vlosten, maybe get him down there or maybe have someone else that can read the play. But for me, you've got to even numbers to try and win this game. So we're not trying to compete. We're trying to win this game if you're Richmond.
Yep.
That's the move that I would move. What's a move that you would make if you're Essendon, do you think?
Essendon are in front. Essendon's back line is on top. Essendon's midfield is running roughly even. I don't think their midfield is dominating.
No.
Essendon's forward line have got 2 potential marking players that will kick goals.
Yep.
So I don't think Essendon can do a lot more than what they've got with their list. the Tigers, I get annoyed at sides that think we're going to see if we can have the extra round of stoppage and save the game, as opposed to going, you know what, we've got to have players evened up on our forward line and back our mids through our process to get the ball forward enough so that it becomes a contest. And it's exactly what you just said. There's only one. When you're leading, there's subtle changes, but not a lot. When you're trailing, and 7 points today is a mountain. Yeah. It's an absolute mountain. So you have to make the changes, and you have to demonstrate that you've got enough nows to go, righto, how are we getting beaten? Well, we get the ball inside our front 50. In fact, it's been, over the course of the game, it's 39 to 35, so it's not a big deal difference. The trouble is we can't score, and you ask your forward line coach what's happening.
No repeat entries.
No, yeah, and you ask your forward line coach what's happening. He goes, well, we're getting dominated because they keep marking the football by that +1. All right, let's go 6v6. And let's rotate a few more players through the middle because they're starting to get tired. You can see that the young players of Richmond are getting tired, so therefore we have to keep rotating so we don't have the same players in the same positions because they're just not going to be able to keep up with it. So keep our senior players out there, rotate the kids through your bench so you keep getting the Toronto and these sort of players, Prestia, they don't need to come off. They go to a forward pocket or something. Give your kids as much space and multiple changes you can to freshen them up. Every time they hit the ground, they go out there with enthusiasm and a little bit of grunt. So that's where I'll be coming from.
The Bombers players are heading out into position. The Tigers are still tightly gathered in front of Adamuze. Essendon holding a 7-point advantage. Tim Taranto leads the way with 25 disposals. Zach Merritt with 24. Jacob Hopper with 22. Short with 21. 20 for Nick Vlostone, Dion Prestia, and for Archie Roberts.
But what can Trezise do? What can he do?
He plays across half-back. Could probably have a run in the midfield, but
wouldn't that be the idea, though? What I was suggesting there was a Vloston or a Broad going forward and let Trezise go on the back line. And if you lose the game, you lose the game because you're behind.
Yeah.
But let's see whether we can... Nick Vloston going forward, I mean, you know he's going to be smart. You know he's going to jump for everything. You know he's going to be able to direct his teammates around. Let's have a crack at it. Take one of the forwards off.
Final term about to get underway. Essendon lead by 7 points here at the MCG. Nankervis and Blackiston. Blackiston follows up after winning down the tap. Sliding in Durham, down low. Hopper tries to knock it out. Setterfield gets the clearance. Hand pass to McGrath. Underground hand pass back to Setterfield. Breaks through the tackle of Ross. Hand pass away to Hobbs. Drives it into the pocket. It clears Peter Wright at Miller. And off hands goes out of play for a boundary throw in. Right forward pocket for the Bombers, heading to the punt road end in this final term.
Now, Peter Wright will take the ruck work against Nankervis. So Essendon's ruck would automatically is behind the ball. So they've got one. And they inevitably got the extra, so they've got two behind the ball. It's almost an impossibility to get out.
Nankervis pulls the footy out of the ruck. Wright tries to pull him down. Nankervis can still get a hand pass away to Short, who flicks it backwards towards Young. He hand passes it across towards Ross, who puts the kick out to the wing. And it's a Tigers free kick to Jonty Full.
I reckon it probably could have been a mark, Lauren, and a very good mark.
So it is Full with the mark against Laverty. And he just chips it across to Broad. He chips it further down the line towards Prestia. And they move it well into the forward 50.
Yep.
Yeah, in the back.
That was very well played.
So Prestia to Kaczynski. He gets the free kick. He's about 55 metres out from goal. Just 7 points in this Essendon's advantage. Richmond well and truly in the game. Kaczynski goes down to a hot spot. Players converge on the footy. Rioli doing the tackling on Redmond, who couldn't hold on to the mark. And it'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Tigers, trailing by 7 points start of this final term.
Thrown up, Blackiston wins down the tap towards the boundary line. Hopper after it. Hand pass away. Trezise, the sub, fires on goal and misses to the left-hand side. So James Trezise into the action. Lex Pesher on the boundary. Who's he come in for?
I'm not sure he's come in for just yet, but while I've got you, Will Setterfield is just limping to the bench. He actually limped from the City side 50, and so he's just come off now. I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Swansea out?
Yep, I think it's Tyler Swansea who's got the bad news to the back of the bench for you.
So he's been sent down to the back of the bench. James Trezise on to start this final term. Of course, Johnson came on in the first term for the Bombers with Martin off with a knee injury, had ice on that right knee and crutches as well, walking, chatting to Brad Scott during the three-quarter time address. So it'll be a throw in between wing and half forward for the Tigers. Just 6 points in this game. It's Essendon's advantage. The margin hasn't gone beyond 9 points tonight. It's Taranto grabs the footy, hand passes it to McIntosh, who skews the kick into the third row. And it's towards that area of the magnet in the right forward pocket. But we've seen the ball go out a lot tonight. As Roberts' kick is not great towards Sardis, who recovers, hand passes it back to Roberts, hand pass to McGrath. He's under pressure from Rioli. Has to hand pass to Roberts, who puts it on the boot this time. It's McIntosh and Clark on a one-on-one, and McIntosh, the experience against the young Clark, just moves Angus off the footy and intercepts the ball to take the mark. It's the Bombers ahead by 6. 3 minutes played, final term.
With that black headband, the bike shorts and the bright pink boots, he sends it up towards half forward. Blackiston in from the side, makes the spoil. Campbell can't gather. McGrath comes sliding in with full stuck underneath. And the umpire circles and will ball it up. Right forward pocket for the Tigers, who trail by 6 points. 3 minutes gone in the final term. Nankervis wins down the tap. Blackiston has a second go at it. Knocks it towards Archie Roberts. He's tackled immediately by Dion Prestia, and the umpire will ball it up.
So Essendon are keeping a box formation in front of them so they can actually negate any free play that Richmond have behind the ball. It's good play.
Nankervis slaps it down, but Sardis read it. Kicks the ball straight up in the air. Ross is underneath it. Can't complete the mark. Spills out the way of Angus Clark. He can't get a disposal. Prestia's hand pass to Rioli. He's buried in a tackle by Hobbs, and the umpire will ball it up. 45 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
We almost have a feeling that it's going to be Rioli. It's going to latch onto one of these.
Campbell takes it. Hand pass to Prestia. He throws it out towards Bloston. He's tackled by Smart. The kick will still come inside 50 from Bloston. It'll be paid a mark. And it's Taranto who's held on to it for the Tigers.
It came off his knee or something. That didn't look like it went 15 either, but you take it.
It did. It went about 8 metres inside 50. I think in all that confusion of the kick.
Everything.
What about the throw?
That was definitely a throw.
There were 4 umpires.
So much going on.
4 umpires. Even the boundary umpires yelled out throw.
So let's see if the Tigers can make the most of the good fortune. Taranto paid the mark.
He's good for 50, whether he's accurate.
Yeah, let's hope the Magna hasn't turned on again.
So he'll come in and he'll let go of the kick from 49 metres out. It starts left. He swings it back and scores a level at the MCG. It's been low scoring. There's been plenty of behinds, but we're in for a tight finish. And Taranto has brought scores back to level. 4-10-34 apiece at the G. 5 minutes played in the last term. Richmond desperate for their first win since round 9, and Essendon looking for their first win since round 11. It's 5 minutes played in the last term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Chad Wingard and Mick Malthouse.
And again, they look the best when they've got numbers forward.
Yeah.
Both chances they've gone inside forward 50, there's even numbers.
Yeah.
And that's what it's a move that you think, okay, we've got a whole quarter to try this. Let's just make sure we stick to it. Whether you're losing, that's what I don't want to see. If they start losing clearances, don't go back to it. Just keep it even forwards. And the forwards down there looking dangerous because they're not fighting an extra +1.
I know.
Tigers' first goal since the 29-minute mark of the opening term. And all of a sudden it brings this game to life. Goldstein back on the ground. Bombers get the clearance. Spills out the way of Sam Durham. High kick inside 50. Caddy racing back to the goal square. It's picked up by Tom Brown of Richmond. It gathers. Kicks a long ball up towards Houghton. Sliding in on his knees. He takes the mark.
I don't reckon he thought he was going to get to that.
Yeah.
And he just held, and all of a sudden it was there. So it turned out to be a very good release from the back line.
Kicked a goal in the opening quarter. The Tigers debutant sends it up the wing. Goldstein in front, can't take the mark. Richmond emerge with it. Taranto gets a hand pass out to Prestia. Kicks into the pocket looking for Campbell. Laverty's there. He wants the boundary line. Campbell tackles him over. And the umpire says throw it in. Left forward pocket for Richmond.
They just look so much better. Every time, just get to the more people in the contest as well. Even if you're a small here, you got the, I suppose, we used to call the license to fly. So if you're Morris Rioli, you're one of the small players for Richmond, you got a license to fly at the moment.
Scores level, ball tossed in. Prestia desperately trying to grab it. In the end, overruns it. It'll be a free kick as McGrath does the tackling. It'll be rather wrapped up and a ball up right at the top of the 50. 35 metres out from Richmond's goal. Nankervis pulls it out of the ruck himself, scores a level, hand pass to Taranto, hand passes it backwards towards Banks, stabs the kick inside 50. Morris Rioli got two hands onto it, just couldn't hold onto the mark. McGrath takes it for the Bombers, hand pass to Dersma, who puts a clearing kick out of defence for the Bombers. It skews out wide and Lual will have to chase after it. Can't pick it up cleanly, almost throws it away from him. Banks takes it. He was tackled without the ball. The umpire says throw it in.
Wow, he didn't have the football.
At no point did Banks have control of that ball. And Lual tackled him as the ball got away from him. But it's a throw in now at half forward for Richmond. Scores are level. 8 minutes gone in the final term.
It's getting desperate for both sides. Nankervis to the front, wins down the tap. Durham roved at best. Tackled by Taranto as it kicks into the middle of the ground. Running onto it, Broad gathers. In fact, it was Trezise, but his hand pass was a turnover. Dersma away to Merritt. Kicks up towards Smart at half forward. He has Caddy in the goal square. Can he get it to him? He rises, getting back Miller, and it's rushed through for a minor score. Enough to give the Bombers the lead by that point, but a moment goes begging.
The Tigers will bring in the footy quickly via to Vlosten in the left back pocket, who just chips it towards Young, who looks behind him. He wants to go behind him or to switch the kick. And that's what he does by moving it across to Miller. Still in defensive 50 for the Tigers. He just chips it towards McIntosh. We'll mark it right half back. Only 8 goals have been scored in this game so far, and just a point in it. The Bombers leading by that one minor score as McIntosh will go long down the wing. Again, it'll be a pack forming. Goldstein and Nankervis both went up. It was Campbell at the drop to take it for Richmond. He hand passed it into the path of Ross. Sardis affected Ross taking the ball and doing anything cleanly with it as Durham grabs it. Goes streaming down the wing. Kingside 50 looking for May. Caddy's at the drop as well. May picks up, gives it to Caddy, who tries to soccer it off the ground. He misses it. Brown cleans it up and just tries to kick it as far away from the goals as he can. And he is able to find Trezise, the sub, to mark in the left back pocket for Richmond.
He kicks towards half back where the mark is taken by Jack Ross. He plays on around Sardis, drives the Tigers up towards half forward. Trainer's the target. In from the side, Ridley gets a fist in there. Spoils it down and Laverty runs onto it. Hand pass over the top to McGrath. The Bombers from half back up towards the wing. Trezise, lunging effort, can't take the mark. Wright tries to knock it clear. Straight to Trezise. Hand pass to the Tigers to Banks. Through the middle of the ground to Ross. Hand pass to Taranto. He's chip looking for Campbell. Can't gather. Clark lost his footing for the Bombers. He knocks it clear though. Jack Ross slides in. Gathers it once more for Richmond. His hand pass is a turnover. Durham straight down the pipe looking for Caddy. He makes the spoil, but Richmond have the numbers. Where Brown gets a hand pass out. And Young should have enough time, although he makes hard work of it as he gets the hand pass to Miller and now to Mansell.
And Mansell puts the ball on his boot as quickly as he gets it. Again, it'll be a pack forming. Trezise might have been worked off the footy in the end, and it will be a holding free kick going the way of the Tigers.
Very quick.
James Trezise will be the recipient. Not Trezise, sorry, Trainer will be the recipient of it. So Luke Trainer was worked off the ball and gets the free kick, and he just chips it towards Taranto. He's just marked it 15 metres ahead.
Oh, it's not 15.
Of Trainer, and then a little chip kick towards Banks, which is paid 15. That might have been, what, 8?
Well, those things in the how they do the mowing are 12.
So
it's half one of those.
Banks flares it out wide towards Short, who then puts it towards the pocket. It'll bounce, and Mansell will take it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So just one goal in this final quarter to Taranto to bring scores level. Behind to Essendon has put them ahead by 1 point. 11 minutes have been played in this final term. Still anyone's game.
Just 2 goals since quarter time. One apiece as it's thrown in. Goldstein, it bounces off his head against Nankervis. Dersma pinballs his way through. Got possession. Hand pass to Goldstein. Clearing kick. Out in front of May, who lays the tackle on Young. Did he get a disposal away? The umpires all look at each other. Campbell gathers the footy. Chips it to Nankervis. Blackerson came in late. Made the spoil. Play on. You can hear the response here as it clears into the middle of the ground. Caddy in a 2-on-1. Brought the ball down to the front. Trezise runs onto it. Hand pass to Prestia. Fires a hand pass out to Young, who gets it away to Short onto the members wing. Chips it out to Tim Taranto. Everyone can take a breath. It felt like Once Lockie Blackiston got away with it, he wasn't going to pause, so he just banged it in the middle of the ground. The kick into the pocket looking for Fall. Can't take the mark. Sims kept it alive. Hand pass picked off by Ridley. Hand pass to Roberts. Back to the boundary. Looking for Blackiston. It goes out in the right forward pocket for Richmond. Essendon leading by a point for 11-35 to Richmond 4-10-34. Yep, just 8 goals to the match. Just 2 since quarter time.
The umpire will toss the ball back in. It is a tight finish coming up as Traynor just grabs it, gets a little kick away towards Sims. It bounces off him. Comes backwards in the end towards Houghton, who tries to get a kick away. Goldstein tries to grab it. He can get it as far as McGrath, who slips over. So Goldstein has to go back in after it. Essendon jumpers around the footy. Blackiston very close to the boundary line. That might be a professional way to put it out of bounds.
Here we go.
And that was seen by the umpire.
Goodness.
Out of bounds deliberately from Blackiston, who just desperately was trying to push it towards the boundary.
It was so smart by Richmond. They didn't. The ball was going towards the boundary. They didn't tackle him. They went back from him. So if he went over the line, it'd be deliberate.
Yeah.
So put the pressure on him. I love that.
It's like a little cat with a toy. Blackiston there trying to push it.
Come on, guys, tackle me over the line. Tackle me over the line. I want this boundary throw in.
Well, this could go. I mean, it could go anywhere, really.
Jacob Hopper from the boundary. Woo! Would you believe it? Richmond is in front. Jacob Hopper has put the Tigers into the front at the MCG. The 8th lead change of this match, and it is Richmond 5-10-40 leading Essendon 4-11-35. 14 minutes played in this final term, and who knows what's to come next. Before the thoughts of our ABC Sport experts, let's head down to Lex Pesher on the boundary.
It's low scoring, but I don't know what it was about that one, but the crowd was on their feet. Maybe the momentum is back.
Yeah, well, Tiger Army, they do stick.
Yeah, and that I'll tell you what, Hopper, he was a right footer on the boundary, and he elected not to open up the angle with his left foot. Right. That was probably the hardest kick you could possibly do, because he didn't even open up the angle at all. No. And he didn't actually get close to the mark.
We call him boomerang or banana.
Yeah, and he backed his foot in. He obviously doesn't back his opposite, but he kicked that. That's an unbelievable kick, and that's a great goal.
Yeah. For all the shots that have been missed, Jacob Hopper with a thriller in the final term, and all of a sudden Richmond have kicked the last 2 goals of the match. Goldstein out of the middle, hand pass away to Sardis, kicks looking for Peter Wright, can't take the mark. He brings it down to the front where Caddy races after it. He bounces in to Traynor, close to the boundary line, and now tapped over, and the Essendon fans have their arms outstretched, and the umpire says throw it in.
There was a subtle difference in that.
A little bit, wasn't there?
Yes, that was not as clear cut as the other one.
Half forward for the Bombers, who now find themselves trailing by 5 points. Thrown back into play. Sims doing the ruck work against Goldstein. Goldstein wins it down to the front. Ross picks it up for Richmond. Hand pass to Prester, who's tackled immediately as Roberts lays the tackle.
They're the hand passes I just don't get. You know your teammate's going to get whacked. You've got the football. Kick the ball 20 metres down the ground. Get it onto the wing.
Richmond ahead by 5. Goldstein taps it out only as far as Campbell. Just shoves it on his boot. Gets it to centre wing where Laverty taps it away towards McGrath. Hand passes it to Hobbs on his left boot. He'll curl it around the boundary towards Goldstein, who came in behind Merritt. Takes the mark. Chips it off very quickly towards Sardis, who's 52 metres out from goal. He wants to move the footy on quickly. Jumps around and then puts it into the right forward pocket. He's looking for Dersma. Couldn't take the mark. Luau running in there for the Bombers. Can pick it up in the end. Hand pass to Caddy. Shoves it on his boot. Very quick kick from Caddy. It misses to the right-hand side. A behind for the Bombers. The margin cut back to 4 points. Richmond's advantage. 16 minutes played in this final term. 4-12. Essendon. Richmond 5-10.
It's one-on-one all over the ground too. The Tigers aren't having any relief. He's 20 metres out, I suppose. You've got that one. But the Bombers are playing it right to see if they can put some real pressure on the Tigers.
1-2 for Nate Caddy tonight, as it's quickly brought in by Banks. Got it away to Broad. The kick up towards half forward. We're trying to keep it alive is Houghton. Taps it away from the advantage of Pryor. Campbell comes charging in, slaps it back to Houghton. Hand pass to Trezise, the sub, chips at boundary side, and Full takes the mark.
Well done.
The Tigers are finishing strongly here. And another shot on goal here in a game in which we've only seen 9 goals of the match. This might be telling if he can put it through deep in the left forward pocket.
Chad, that's the difference. They got the ball out of their back line where they make so many mistakes into the middle and then to the forward line. If you're going to make a mistake, let it be on your forward line.
Jonty Fall, Chad has kicked 5 goals, 14. So, knowing the way the game has gone, he'll dob this from the left forward pocket. Fall starts his approach, fires in from the left forward pocket. He says, "Let me hear you, Tiger Army." 2 goals. 3 goals in the final term for Richmond as they look to overrun the Bombers. They now lead by 10 points, 6-10-46 to Essendon 4-12-36. And this match has come to life at the 17-minute mark of the final term.
If I can just add there, Chad, there is a distinct effort to have 6 forwards.
Yep.
Time and time again, and even on the boundary throw-ins away from their forward line, they're holding at least 5. So there has been a shift. It's taken 3 quarters. But that's what's kept the ball, when it goes to their forward line, now it's at least staying in their forward line.
Well, it changes the mentality of the forwards as well. You're not worrying about I'm a defending forward, I'm just got to get this ball to ground. And you can just see there the mentality that I'm going to not take this out of bounds, I'm going to take it on.
Yes.
It just shifts everything in Richmond by just having an extra number there.
And they're gone in.
Play your natural game.
7-8. So there's not a big difference inside the front 50.
Goldstein takes the footy from the ruck, just spirals a kick towards centre half forward. Didn't get the purchase he'd want. It comes down to Merritt though. Just hurries a kick inside 50. Wright was at the back. He was beaten to the footy by Miller, who then does the tackling in the end on May. He'll be locked up in front of goal for Essendon.
He's done very well, Miller.
Besides that one free kick he gave away, he's been unbelievable.
Yeah, too right he has.
Ball up in front of Essendon's goal. Goldstein palms it down towards Kako. Spills off his hands towards May, towards Goldstein. Hand pass to Kako, just desperately trying to hold on to it. And he'll be pinned holding the ball there.
Yeah, tackling's been really good by the Tigers. They've been impressive when they've done it well. It's when they overuse the football and they get a bit caught up in their own abilities. There's one of them.
Miller to short, chips it towards Tom Brown. That bounced off the grass. No, he paid the mark.
One bounce
off his hand. No, it bounced off his hand.
Oh, there you go. So it did bounce off his hand. Looked like it bounced off the turf a little bit. Brown, we paid the mark. So Richmond leading by 10 points. Essendon might be down a rotation as well. Will Setterfield came off a bit sore at the start of the quarter. Doesn't seem to have gone back on. So they've already had an injury from Nick Martin. We'll check in with Lex on the boundary.
You are correct. He hasn't come on just yet. He has ice on his right foot.
Peter Wright takes the intercepting mark from the Brown kick. Inside 50, Caddy the target. Can't take the mark. Onto it as Banks tackled, lost it. Hobbs comes charging through and can't get a disposal away as he's wrapped up in the left forward pocket. Richmond lead by 10 points. 20 minutes gone, final term. All of a sudden now the Bombers have to try and mount a charge from behind. Goldstein doing the ruck work against Nankervis. Gets it down to Merritt. He's tackled immediately by Ross. And the umpire circles and will ball it up. 3 goals to none the way of the Tigers in this final term. And Richmond have booted 5 goals, 4 from set shots to the Bombers, 2 goals, 6. Nankervis slaps it down, got it away to Brown with a clearing kick for Richmond up towards the wing. Kazitsky makes a contest, spoils it down against Laverty. Trainer through traffic, he's gone, holding the ball. The Bombers take it back. Peter Wright gets a hand pass forward to Roberts into the pocket, kicking off for Caddy. Up with one arm, can't take it on the second bite. Broad gets a hand pass forward. Can't link up with Banks. It spills out the way of Roberts. Hand pass away to Zach Merritt. High ball to full forward. Dersmer and McIntosh. McIntosh wins the battle. Hand pass back to Miller. A high search and kick out of defence. Sims is underneath it. Can't take the mark. Hobbs spins into traffic. And he's locked up at the paint hole 50 for the Bombers.
I think Green's 4 points is worth so much to either of these clubs. The efforts by these players now, they might be making mistakes, but never question them on their efforts. It's been outstanding, their efforts.
They're absolutely pushing now the Bombers to get a score on the board as Ross takes it. He's tackled by Merritt, who just gets a hand pass across to Hobbs, hand pass to Roberts, who hand passes it to Pryor. His kick is smothered. It ricochets back. McGrath pushes his opponent off the footy, desperate to grab it. Then does the tackling on Taranto, who can still get a hand pass across to Campbell. 2 bounces through the centre of the MCG. He'll put the long kick inside 50, looking for Kazitsky, bounces off his knee. 1-on-1 with Blackiston. And Blackiston can win the footy Hand pass it across to Laverty, and the Bombers defenders will exit their defensive 50 here as the hand pass comes to McGrath. He kicks into the centre of the field to Goldstein. Can't take the mark. McIntosh got in front of him. Goldstein recovers. Hand pass to Durham.
Latest call.
Who called that? Which umpire called that? Because that umpire...
No, I reckon it was late. I reckon he just called it late.
Oh, my... Why would he...
It was there.
Of course it was there. It was there a minute ago.
Yeah.
In fact, it was probably there in the 19th century.
McIntosh to Prestia to Taranto, who kicks it towards the goals. It's a mark on the line.
Get off me.
Kazitsky is marked on the line.
Oh, my God, what's
happening? Doesn't waste time. Hand passes to Sims in the goal square, and he doesn't kick the goal. He tried to kick it on the side of his boot, and he's missed, and the Bombers defenders will exit here from Dersma. Oh, it looked like a great save as Kazitsky marked it on the line, and he's tried to get it to the youngster in Sims, who couldn't finish off the kick in the goal square.
Well, it was such a shock that he got the hand pass. It was really a bad decision to hand pass it.
And then Dersma's kick went out on the full. Free kick taken by Trezise. Kicks up towards half forward. Blackiston in front.
He's played well this Yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes, but generally speaking.
The mid-season recruit from WA moves the Bombers forward. Clark takes the mark. Warnwing works it up to May. At right half forward. Under pressure, his kick might work on the bounce for Kako. Can't gather. Racing out, Zach Merritt. Kicks towards Lual. Back with the flight. It's spoiled down in the end by Trezise. Towards the goal square. Kako, did he get a toe to it? No, it's rushed through.
Wow.
Some desperate defending from first Banks, and then Brown was racing back as well. Kako thought he was going to get a little toe poke onto it, but behind. It's a 9-point lead Richmond's way as players are starting to fatigue and the desperation is on display.
Tom Brown's kick doesn't come off the boot the way it'd like. He was looking for McIntosh, and now McIntosh is wrapped up at the top of the 50. Dersma doing the tackling.
Well, he saved the goal. Well, he saved a shot on goal. I won't say goal. Certainly can't kick them, but McIntosh has been extraordinary with his experience and his heart.
He's had a good night tonight as Nankervis taps it away. It goes straight into the path of Durham, who slips over, still regains composure, kicks towards Caddy in the right forward pocket, broad front position, couldn't take the mark, and the ball will be brought over the boundary line in the end by Short.
That was a bizarre kick in. That was going for it like they're down.
Yeah.
That was he didn't need to. They can slow it down. There's 4 minutes left.
Yeah,
up by 9 points.
Yeah, we're at point down, so we've got to get a goal.
Yeah,
that was a shocking kicking.
3 goals to 3 behind's the way of the Tigers in this final term. Durham through traffic. Hand pass out towards Goldstein. Tries to slap it onto Merritt. McIntosh sees it out towards Nankervis, who takes it over the boundary line. Time now starting to work against the Bombers. 24 minutes gone. Almost 25. Here at the MCG with the crowd is 52,125. So credit to all the Essendon and Richmond fans who have come along tonight. Thrown back in. Bombers have it inside their forward 50. Nankervis slaps it over the back. It works to Ross. Gets the hand pass away. Clearing ball from Sims out towards Morris Rioli Jr. Underneath it, Redmond couldn't take the mark. Rioli keeps it alive. Redmond shoves him out of the way. Then slips over. The two collide. Trezise comes sliding in. Umpire circles. Lets him go. Rioli tries to break away. And this time there's no getting away from Archie Roberts.
What a game. We've seen it all. We've seen it all.
Oh, it's been entertaining in one way. Because the ball is tossed back up. Goldstein taps it down to Roberts, who puts the kick right down the line, right at the back. Can't gather it. He'll going for a second effort here. In the end, it's Short that wins it. Tackled by Kako, maybe high. The umpire says he'll have it, and it'll be a ball up top of the 50 for the Bombers.
We've got a ruckman, Richmond, because they didn't have a ruckman that last. Oh, there's Nankervis there now. He just didn't get to the last one.
So he's made his way there now, Nankervis and Goldstein. The tap out comes towards Short, who just hand passes it back to Broad, shoves it on his boot, and will get the kick to centre wing, punched away by Sims, who only gets it further far towards centre wing before Morris Rioli jumps on top of it. He's taken by Redmond, and the umpire will pin holding the ball.
No, that ball came in before he hit the ground.
He didn't really have much of an opportunity there.
Well, you can't drag it in, but I don't reckon he did drag it in.
That's a Redmond free kick who kicks it across to Sardis, who moves it to Laverty.
Drives it long inside 50. Caddy in the pack. Wright was there as well. It's knocked away by Young of Richmond. Onto a Dersma. Desperation now. Hand pass missed Kako. Vlosten. Hand pass to McIntosh. Away to Mansell. Bangs it up the wing towards Kazitsky. Back with the flight. Can't mark against Ridley. He's first back onto it though. Hand pass to Taranto. Tries to put it in front of Campbell, but back with the flight. The mark is taken by Mason Redmond. The Bombers have got to try and throw chaos into the breeze and take some chances. They switch it across half-back. Pryor takes the mark. He drives it up towards half-forward. Caddy in a wrestle with Broad. It's spoiled down to the front. A chance for Archie Roberts, although it's Trezise who gathers. Hand pass to Sims. Away to Hopper. Tigers away.
Hopper with a bounce, looks left, then looks right, then hand passes it across to Broad, who's got Roberts closing in on him, holding the footy.
Oh, goodness. Well, they're just going to... I just can't believe why they don't kick the ball forward, Richmond.
It's bizarre.
It is totally bizarre, because Essendon didn't have any extra numbers.
Archie Roberts looks spent as he kicks backwards towards Laverty, who's marked in the defensive arc for the Bombers and just goes for a little run around that curved line.
A little run, that's for sure.
Before kicking it out to Goldstein in the outer side of the ground.
Like about 35 minutes.
Yeah. Goldstein with a long kick right down the line. He'll get it across to Oscar Smart in his first game. He's calling his teammates to come across to his side of the ground. The kick goes inside 50. And it is Young that marks. Tyler Young in his first AFL game of the season, holding on to the mark. Left back pocket for the Tigers.
Give him a tip. Kick the ball as long as you can.
And wide.
And wide, exactly.
Oh, he's gone corridor.
Young's long kick up the wing as there's shots on the monitor of Brad Scott. Arms crossed, frustration for him as Merritt tries to work back onto the footy. Wins it back for the Bombers, kicks into the middle of the ground, in the direction of Clark. Miller makes the spoil, down to Prestia, kicks off the outside of the boot, out to the members wing and the foot race is on. Rioli offers chase on Roberts. Roberts clean pickup. Cut away from Rioli, who lost his footing. Kicks up towards May at half forward. Great desperation. Sliding in, Nick Flostone in game 250. In front of so many of the Richmond fans in the Olympic stand.
Unbelievable.
And a round of applause for the three-time Premiership Tiger as he made another trademark spoil.
Richmond by 9 points, late stages of this match. Essendon have been pushing hard in the last 10 minutes or so, even longer than that, but just not able to put a score on the board. As the ball is tossed back in, a packle form right at the top of the 50. And we've seen plenty of these tonight. Another stoppage, another ball up. Both of these sides desperate for a win. A rare win for the season. As it's Goldstein who taps it away early towards Durham, whose kick in the end hits his teammate in Goldstein. It's a pop up from defensive 50, who just shoves it on his boot and clears it towards the boundary. It's just kept in by Kaczynski. He's tackled over the boundary line. Does well to stop that from being insufficient intent. And we'll have a ball in front of the Richmond bench. The Tigers holding on to a 9-point lead. It's been a tight game despite not many goals tonight.
Look at everyone back plus half the crowd. Have a look at the back 50.
Toss back into play. Goldstein slaps it down to the front to Merritt. Sardis kicks a high ball to half forward. The Tigers come from everywhere. Vlauston in the pack. Spoils out. Smart's kick is smothered. As Young sees it out of play for a boundary throw in. The Richmond fans are rejoicing. They're enjoying this in the stands. 52,125 in for a Saturday night at the MCG between two sides in the bottom six on the AFL ladder. As the boundary umpire sets the throw back into play, Nankervis and Goldstein, and the Tigers claim their fourth win of the season. It doesn't matter how you do it, but they kicked the last 3 goals of the match, and the Richmond rebuild is right on track.
A fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tigerland.
The Tigers booted the last 3 goals of the match to run out 6-10-46 for the Bombers, 4-13-37. Essendon trailed by 4 points at quarter time. The Bombers by a point at half time. There was 12 consecutive behinds through the second and the third quarter. The Tigers were held goalless for 2 quarters, with Archer May the only goal scorer in the third quarter, before Richmond booted the last 3 goals of the match to record their 4th win of the season. While the Bombers in 13th position, it's one that got away.
We're from Tigerland, a fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tiger. Yellow and black, we're from Tigerland.
The Tigers break a 7-game losing streak, their first win since round 9 against the West Coast Eagles. And Nick Florstone, one of their favourite sons, in game 250, is a winner in his milestone match. The Tigers winners by 9 points. Mick Moldhouse and Chad Wingard, their thoughts on ABC Sport.
Oh, we've just been... Chad's got the wonderful opportunity to give you 3 votes. And, we're looking at players, and there's going to be people on Monday that will look at the papers and go, well, why wouldn't they have given them to, we won't know the player, but you will. And we're going to say, because nothing come from those multiple possessions. And it was, I think the Tigers deserved the victory.
Yeah, I agree.
And they battled all the way through. It took them over a half to get a 6-man forward line to stay relatively close to 6 backline players, which made Essendon then have to win their own football. And then when they won their own football, they couldn't then just lay it off for a hand pass and run on to another one. They had to then kick the football, which Richmond were very well balanced in front of the ball. I know the scoreboard doesn't suggest great teams, but McIntosh was outstanding in his endeavour. He plugs holes. He throws himself in front of packs. He was outstanding, and he was one of the reasons, as with their midfield, Richmond, that the ball didn't then come out of the back line with ease. Then it went back into that forward line. In fact, the overall stats inside 50 were 55-46, but I reckon the last probably 7 or 8 were perhaps to Essendon that just cribbled over the 50-metre line and come straight back. It's a bit of a distorted stat, I reckon, inside 50s. If you said inside 30s, and how many times do you mark it inside 30, you'd say they're the most relevant. Well, no one could mark it. I was so surprised that Caddy and Wright couldn't mark the football consistently to give them shots on goal. And so that's a credit to Richmond's young backline. Young backline in height, but then generalled by Vlosten. Outstanding 250 games. What a Trojan. Just a fantastic player, loyal to the club. But overall, and I thought Nankervis and Goldstein in the ruck probably shared it, but again, probably Nankervis was a little bit more damaging when he palmed the ball out.
Nick Florstone being chaired off the MCG. Ben Miller on one side, Nathan Broad on the other. So popular amongst the Richmond faithful. And the Bombers come over and show their respect, despite the disappointment of going down by 9 points. So 6 individual goal kickers for the Tigers: Hopper, Taranto, Short, Houghton, Fall and Banks. While for the Bombers, 4 individual goal kickers: Sardis, Durham, May and Caddy. Tigers were held goalless for 2 quarters, despite kicking the last 3 goals of the match and prevailing by 9 points. It feels like a night where you're trying to work out where both sides sit in their progression, their transition. The Tigers get the 4 points. Are they a step further to where they want to be? They have a more experienced midfield than what Essendon do, who have blooded so many debutants this season. 12 debutants and 40 players used. In the end, was it the right result, or was it a quarter of good footy that got Richmond the win?
I think it was a quarter of footy that definitely got Richmond the win. But for me, Richmond actually came out with the right intensity. So their attack on the ball and attack on the man was probably better today. And I thought they were up for the fight. And it started with a few of the scuffles that Richmond initiated, I think, nearly every single one. Essendon felt like they weren't up for the fight, if I'm being honest. I thought their skill by foot looked a lot better, especially in their back half. But Richmond, I think, just wanted this game a lot more. If that's what I'm being completely honest, they didn't set themselves up for success until they actually evened the numbers up forward. But I thought Richmond's intent and endeavour was super impressive throughout the 4 quarters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I reckon they won the first quarter. I thought it was first and last quarter they certainly dominated the score in the last quarter, albeit the fact that Essendon had a lot of chances, but they were intercepted, well spoiled. But I'm with you. I just thought the Tigers really... I'd like to say the contested football was 129 to 117, which doesn't sound a lot difference, but clearances again, they're a contested football, 33-31. So there wasn't a lot in it. It just appeared that when the desperation stakes were needed, there was a Tiger that put himself over the boot, in the air, on the line. So, overall, there's no doubt Adam Huse would go, regardless of the score, we had a real crack.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And the thing about the guys that really stepped up, which is their senior players like Taranto, Presti had a great game. Hopper, like obviously their midfield was great. I thought Vlosten was super impressive again. He's just a fort back there. He's just a wall. He gets it done. And you wonder why Katie didn't have his best day. It was because of players like him. I think Miller also stepped up today.
Wow,
I actually didn't realise, this is probably the first game I've watched Miller, and I thought he's actually got a really good kick on him.
Yeah.
I didn't think about Miller and having a good kick. He hit probably the best inside 50 kicks of the day, and it was to a leading forward. And for me, if he can get the job done every week like that and not give away a free kick, which he did down here,
in front of us,
that's the only, I suppose, blemish on his game. One free kick, you take that.
Yeah.
And
especially against his opponent.
100%. I thought he was, and he's been rock solid all year. And for a team that gives up a lot of inside 50s, I thought he's been really good today.
So the stat that will haunt Essendon is 4 goals from 55 inside 50. So what's that? 7%, as opposed to Richmond, who kicked 6 goals from 46 inside 50. So it's not that much better. 13%, but it was enough tonight.
Well, how many out in the full? They had shots. They had their shots. Like, you think about ones that fell short, you think about one that went out in the fall. They actually had a lot of shots. It just felt like they were just too far out for me and too far on a poor angle. And, they missed easy ones as well. It just wasn't their day in terms of, it wasn't many people's day in kicking in front of goal, if I'm being honest. Only 2 forwards for Richmond's out of the 6 goals. The rest were backs or mids. So it wasn't a forward's day to be licking your chops with a bag of goals, that's for sure.
Tigers booted 5 goals, 4 from set shots. Essendon 2 goals, 6. And Jacob Hopper, when the banana hemmed in the right forward pocket, he was able to strike it truly. And then Jonty Fall, who had kicked to that stage, 5 goals, 14. Nailed one from the left forward pocket about 45 metres out. And there were 3 unanswered goals in the final term, which gave Richmond a 9-point victory. Players are just gathering, doing a few high fives and photos with the fans who are on the broadcast side here at the MCG. And once more, 52,125. So a great showing for a Saturday night between two sides who won't feature in finals. And now we don't even have a wrestle for the wooden spoon. West Coast are comfortably behind at the moment. Richmond now, who get a significant win to move one step up the ladder, and they're closer to North Melbourne now than they are to the West Coast Eagles. They're equal on 4 wins.
Now, Matt, you on yourself would have had Richmond maybe pinching a game somewhere. Now, after they won that one against Carlton, we thought that might be it. So they've done well with these kids and a few of the senior injuries. So it's been encouraging by the Tigers.
They got West Coast next week, Mick, so they might make it 2 on the bounce over at Perth.
It depends which West Coast side turn up too, because I reckon they've been a bit stiff. They could have beaten Fremantle. No, who was it? North Melbourne. They should have beaten North Melbourne. And if they won one, they dropped one just recently. Yeah, they dropped one. It was against Essendon too, I think, from memory. Is it right? Who they beat?
They beat St Kilda.
Oh, the Saints, that's right.
Back in round 10.
Yeah, that's right.
Tigers winners by 9 points. Let's join them with Lex Pesher in the rooms.
Taj Hodden led them in down to the rooms, which is quite a nice touch. Now he's getting that beloved Gatorade. Oh, it's on me. Gatorade shower. And they're going to sing the song very soon.
That is easily the best club song.
Richmond by 9
That's
points.
That's an absolute cracker.
6-10-46 to the Bombers, 4-13-37. Lex Pesher will bring us a reaction from the Richmond rooms. In the end, 3 goals unanswered in the final term proved the difference despite being held goalless in 2 quarters in the second and the third quarter.
Would it surprise you to know this is the lowest scoring game of the season, Clinchy?
No.
So it overtakes Adelaide and GWS, who played in that horrific windy...
shocker.
Yeah, that really awful conditions, rain and wind. So combined 83 points tonight, 46-37. The lowest scoring game of the season so far.
Yet if you saw the scoreboard, you think, oh, it must have been pouring rain or a howling breeze.
Beautiful.
It was pretty prime.
It was a magnet, though.
Yes, there
was a magnet in the crowd. Oh, yet to see it.
Anon says, thanks, guys. Great commentary. Strange game. I hope the young Tigers get a lot out of this one, but must be the lowest total scores in a while. So there you go, Anon.
There we go.
Lauren was right on top of your thought as well. And Richmond get the 4 points, so they move to 4 wins, while the Bombers are 6 wins and 10 losses. How would Brad Scott Mick try and sum this one up when he fronts the media?
I want the record people to go to all the things and say, for one half of the game, second and third quarter, there was 1 goal scored. How long ago did that take place? One goal in one half, so second and third quarter. Anyway, Brad Scott would be bitterly disappointed. Regardless of injuries, he's lost Martin, and hopefully that's not a... I watched it on replay. I still can't find...
Yeah,
they're the ones that worry you, though,
know,
when nothing appears to happen. That's what you worry about, because you'd like to know something happens and then you can have a judgment. Anyway.
And they made the sub straight away. And they didn't even strap it up or test it.
So I would say Brad would be bitterly disappointed. In front, I reckon he'd be disappointed in his key forwards. He would be disappointed in his midfield that got some possessions but didn't use the ball. He would be patting on the back line, because they played pretty good football. I mean, they've held the side down to 6 goals, 10, and up to half, three-quarter time, 3 goals. So they were, and mind you, they always had the extra player, and that was given by Richmond. So, I think that of a lot of losses, this would hurt greatly.
16 or 11, the inside 50s in the final term, the way of the Bombers.
Yeah,
so they were desperate, but they
so.
just couldn't come up with a system where they were able to score and make it count in front of goal.
Yeah, and Richmond, for some reason, they're really hard, and I'll give you the reason, actually. They're really hard to score against because they put a lot of numbers in their D50. So if you get any slow ball movement, you really have to get Richmond from centre bounces, or you have to get them off turnovers, because they'll give you opportunity.
Or you mark it on 50.
Exactly, exactly right.
That's true.
It is, because they're just putting so many players, or you got to shift angles, because you think about Essendon, they got stuck on one side, and they're bombing it in. And Caddy is 193. Like, he's not the 200-metre, Darcy, or someone who's actually going to jump above a pack. He's really a smart mover. But I wouldn't say he's a massive...
No, he's come at the ball.
Exactly right. And today he did come at the ball. He actually got his strengths. He just couldn't mark him, and it was just a hard one for him.
Richmond winners by 9 points. Let's join the Tigers with Lex Pesher.
Hello, guys. I am joined by Jacob Hopper. Jacob, congratulations on the win. It wasn't exactly pretty, but I guess the talking point through the week was going to be, how do you manage and keep managing without Tom Lynch? I suppose that's been a bit of a struggle recently. How did you manage to do it? It wasn't pretty.
No, I can't imagine it was the best sort of watch. But I don't know, sometimes that's just footy. Like, sometimes you've got to find a way to win ugly and just try and keep on keeping on. I feel like that's our message each and every week, particularly with such a young group, and we're trying to learn each week. So I think we showed some great resilience to just keep trying to find a way. But yeah, we did our best to butcher it at times, but yeah.
I think you were goalless through 2 quarters, so did it feel like you were just trying to win ugly out there?
I mean, I don't think it's an intentional sort of like, let's go out there and win ugly, but I think that was just the sort of nature of the game. They weren't really executing, we weren't really executing, so it was just nice to sort of be in a game and then find a way to win.
Before it's over to our ABC experts, just quickly on Taj Hodden, he came out and he looked very much the part. It's been talked about that he may have been a bit of a steal in this draft. Can you guys say that already?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think he's such a great person off the field, and he's gelled so well with the group, and then just plugged away with his rehab and give himself every chance to come in and play straight away, and he looks right at home. He's got that natural sort of feel for the game, which will just grow and grow the more he plays, so we're super excited to have him as a Tiger.
Chad Wingard and Mick Moldhouse, Jacob Hopper is all yours.
Jacob, how you going, mate? It's Chad Wingard here. Congrats on the win, mate. It was a hard game to watch, but I thought that last quarter, even your first quarter, you really went through the corridor, and it was a very exciting brand. Was there something said at three-quarter time? Because we noticed that the forwards had a bit more numbers going there, whether they evened it up a little bit. But you looked a bit more, I suppose, free-flowing. Was that just happening naturally, or was it something that was said at three-quarter time to try and get some energy in the ball?
Yeah, no, I think we want to be more attacking, and we want to try and, I suppose, open up the field as best as we can and try and play fast but not rushed. And I felt like we were able to do that, but then, I don't know, sometimes the nature of the game just feels like it was a slippery ball. We felt like their pressure was good, and we probably got a little bit tight, I reckon, and we probably stopped taking a few risks, and I think we were still trying, but we just weren't executing. And as you know, just that can sort of freeze you up a little bit, and I think naturally you just sort of maybe start taking the contest a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know, it was just an ugly sort of game. I sort of, it's one of those games I can't really remember what was going on. I just know it wasn't pretty, but yeah, we want to try and take the game on as much as we can, and we feel like we were doing that, but yeah, obviously struggled in the second and third.
And another guy I want to talk about is Vostone, mate. He's been sensational this year, and he's obviously a sensational career. How important it was. I feel like you guys, more than Essendon, came out with the intensity. Was it obviously every game you want to win, but especially for a guy who's meant so much to the club, 250 games, what was it like, obviously, getting a win for him at the end of the day?
Oh, yeah, massive. I think, you know what milestone games are like, and I think we've lost pretty much every one this year, so it's always a bit flattening to lose a milestone game. But I mean, he just represents, like, his nickname is Tigger, so I think it's like he is a tiger through and through, and he looks like one, he plays like one, he's as angry as one. So yeah, he's a legend of the footy club, and he means so much, and he's been through it all, through the ups and the downs, and he's such a pivotal figure, and he keeps us in games sometimes single-handedly. So, oh yeah, I think it was sort of one of those ones where we all knew straight away, I think going to the last quarter, it was like some extra stuff to draw upon for sure.
Jacob Hopper's with us from down in the Richmond rooms, win us by 9 points. All right, you've been very team-focused, Jacob. You're trailing by a point. You're hemmed in the right forward pocket. You decide to go banana. What's going through your mind? Talk us through it.
Oh, yeah, just never in doubt. Just
where's the left?
I thought about it and then thought, nah. No, I don't know. It's funny. It's one of those ones where every coach gets mad at you for why you're practicing on the boundary after training all the time, and I say that's why, boys, because it comes in handy. But then I missed the one from straight in front, so we'll have a look at that for sure.
It just felt like that kind of night, though. I mean, you nailed that one from the right forward pocket. I don't know if you know, Jonty Forward kicked, I think it was 5 goals, 14 for the season, and nails one out to the left as well, and you kicked the last 3 goals of the match. How were you able to, I guess, gain that surge mentality? And I think your pressure was over 200 in that final term as well.
Yeah, I think it means a great deal to us, and I know it means a great deal to everyone, but we've been up against it probably the last month, and it's tough when you're a young group and you're sort of trying your ass off, but you're just not getting the outcomes, and it's hard to stay sort of process driven. But I don't know, it was a game I think we were able to sort of stay process, even though the process was not pretty at times. But I mean, it's great to see guys like John. I mean, yeah, he's struggled in front of goals, but that's just all a part of his development, and at least he's sort of getting opportunities, and he's going to start to bang him, and it's going to be unreal to see him grow. And yeah, I think it's really cool to see everyone grow and all these kids start to take over games, and yeah, I love being a part of it, to be honest.
Jacob, Mick Mulder, just a couple of things. Well done for the start off, and for the team. We were talking up here, you know, as much as the game may not have reached the heights of some, the endeavour was outstanding. Just a couple of players. One from you. Who's going to be the most exciting new Tiger coming through? Just give me one.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a bit maybe recency bias, but Taj is going to be special. I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, but yeah, he's just got a great feel for the game. I think you can sort of, you guys have watched enough footy to just know when someone sort of has that feel and that touch, and yeah, he's got that through and through, and he'll just grow and grow and grow, and he's made of the right stuff. Doesn't take it too seriously, but it obviously means a great deal to him to be a Tiger, and yeah, he's going to be a special player. But then again, it's like we've had 8 honest guns come in, and it's so rare to have that. So honestly, I feel like we believe in all of them, which is obvious, but it's just how quickly we can get them going and how quickly we can do this. I think footy doesn't know how old you are, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Jacob Kaczynski, he just looked like a man who hadn't played a lot of football and looked so down on confidence. And I guess I'm asking the question about you guys and him, and seeing like he takes a mark 5 metres out, hemmed in, hand pass to someone who wasn't expecting it. You lost your momentum a little bit then. That one would have sealed the game. Tell us about him. Tell us about how he's been going.
Honestly, he's just been plugging away. It's tough. It's a tough position for him to be in. And as a teammate and a mate, you want everyone out there playing because everyone works their butt off to get an opportunity. And he's been working that hard in the VFL, and he's been applying his craft hard. And it's a big ask. He's been playing back, and he's been playing really well as a backman. And he sort of gets an opportunity as a forward, and that's tough because it's like he's been applying his craft from the other end of the field, and then he's come in and expect to play at a really high level. And I thought he just competed all night. But it's a big ask, I think, as well to come in and impact. But I loved his compete all night for sure.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I think that we're all feeling for him. We're almost all jumping on and wishing that he'd kick one because he just looked like a bloke that was sort of, look, I don't know whether I should be here, but you'd love to be. As a spectator, and we're spectators up here looking, we'd like to see him do well. So what's the future? The next few weeks. This last one. What's the next few weeks mean to you guys?
It's easy to say we just want to win, which is obviously the goal. But it's honestly not. It's just to try and play our way. Try and get as many games into these kids as we possibly can, and just watch them grow and give them every opportunity. And honestly, just try and execute every time. I know it's sounds pretty simple, but honestly, I'm not happy to. It'll suck, but if we lose every game, but we play the way we want, and we're instilling the right habits, and we're going about it the right way, and I'm happy-ish. Obviously, I'd love to win everyone, but I think that's the goal for sure.
As we let you go, Jacob, we're having a bit of fun with Mick about what Adamuzze might say at half-time, three-quarter time when you hadn't kicked a goal. Was he positive?
He's a positive man. He is a positive man. I didn't even know. You blokes told me, I was like, oh shit, was it that bad? So I didn't even know. So that's a good thing. So Ooze didn't make us feel too down on confidence.
Well, you got the win. That's all that matters. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good luck against the West Coast Eagles next week.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Jacob Hopper with a chance to try and make it back-to-back wins for the Tigers, their fourth win of the season. Other votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Now, one is third best, right? That's how we're doing it. 1, 2, 3. 3 votes. Is that the Brownlow? Or is it
correct. Like the Brownlow.
Okay, it's like the Brownlow. Okay, we're going to go with one vote. I'm going to go Vlostone. I thought he was super impressive. I think about someone who just gets the job done. He's 250, stepped up in crucial moments in that last quarter, getting spoils, kept caddy, and none of their tall forwards looked like they were going to take a mark. And I know he's one of just the 6, but I thought he was the one that's really stood out. He had 23 disposals, 8 marks, really was really strong back there. 2 votes. I'm going to go with Hopper, the great man we just spoken to. He had 27 disposals, 1 goal, third most, I suppose, getter for Richmond, and it really set a tone in there with their midfield as well. And the 3 votes, I've got to give it to Taranto. 34 disposals, 1 goal, 74 disposal efficiency. That's what I love about him, because sometimes we've knocked him for his disposal efficiency being low and not, I suppose, butchering the ball. But for a midfielder to have 34 disposals and have, I suppose, that potency by foot, which is not his strongest trait, I thought it was one of a real growth area for him today, and especially in a game there wasn't much, I suppose, kicking skills in terms of hitting targets very often. So I thought that was pretty impressive for a midfielder to kick that efficient.
1 to Vloston, 2 to Hopper, 3 to Taranto from Chad Wingard in the ABC Footballer of the Year. The Tigers record their 4th win of the season, 16-46 to the Bombers, 13-37. So Swamp Thing on Twitter answered the question you posed, Mick. So 10 goals, 23-83 is the combined lowest score, ignoring 2020 with the shorter quarters during COVID, since round 11, 1989 at the MCG.
Right. For that inside those two.
Those two. So 83 combined total between the two sides is the lowest score since 1989, taking out the COVID period where we had shorter quarters. Felt like that, didn't it?
Well, it did. Well, you wouldn't want to be a TV waiting for the ads because there's none.
Even Jacob Hopper thought that in the end. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Chad.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Loz. Thank you to Lex and to Jules, to Craig, who's done a marathon shift back at base. We'll be on air from midday tomorrow for AFL Sunday. Bob Murphy will join you from the MCG as Melbourne take on North Melbourne in the final match of the first match of the Sunday of round 18. The match in Perth is still taking place. It's a 2-point lead the way of the Hawks. If you want to listen, there is coverage available on the ABC Listen app. Just click on the AFL button. Thanks for your company tonight. The Tigers record their 4th win of the season by 9 points. Good night.